one of the magic moments of season 2018. You've got the Magpie Army, you've got the Richmond Army. They are suburbs that border each other here in Melbourne, two of the biggest supporter bases, and it is going to be electric. Just looking at Nathan Buckley, Damien Hardwick. Interesting watching the players line up, Nath Brown, Chris Judd in the Seabus Super Special comments. There's some that like to eyeball and just see if you can get in the kitchen. There's a few that stare down at the ground. What was your technique, Brenny?
Well, there's a lot who sing and there's a lot who don't sing. I reckon it's about 70% don't sing and there's 30% belting out the national anthem. But I'll tell you what, this is going to be an absolute cracker, Judge. And big Jordan De Goey. We've spoken a lot about Jordan De Goey and where his role plays tonight. He was so good last week, the most dangerous player on the ground. Maybe Ranscosu, maybe Grimes, but he's not going to get a lot of space. We've seen him this year struggle when players have played in front of him, and he needs to do something special to jump over the top. Big night for Jordan De Goey to really announce himself.
Here's the captain. Sorry, Judge. Here's the captain's in the middle.
Good luck. Thank you, mate. Play well.
Scott, it's your call. Header or tail? Heads is the call. Here's the tail. Tail.
Trent Cochin has won the toss and they will kick to the city end. So the Pies will be going to the punt road end to open this match up. Bob Jane, T-Marts, Nerily Meadows, Nares. How lucky are we to be at the footy on a night like tonight? You there right behind the bench. You got the best seat in the house.
It is absolutely unbelievable, Howie. And just looking at the two cheer squads, geez, they're going to be at each other all night long. I tell you what, the MCC members are going to be in a bit of trouble, though. There's a little pocket right to my right up the top there that's not filled, and it's the only spare seats in the house tonight. Unbelievable atmosphere. You could not get a more perfect night for footy. No wind whatsoever. The flags at the top of the flag poles down the city end and not moving at all. You couldn't get a better night for it. No late changes, which means that Asprey is okay despite a bit of a virus. Dustin Martin okay despite that caught. We'll wait and see whether he spends most of his time in the middle or as a forward. On the bench, Castagna, Hooley, Conker and Graham. For the Pies, Treloar, Aish, Varco and Sire, who is okay after that bad caught last week.
Thanks, Nez. Bob Jane, T-Marts, a tyre and wheel specialist. Triple M Bosch Tool Stats, preliminary final expert. Welcome to you for the first time tonight. You're an integral part of Friday night.
Oh, thanks, Harry. Past four finals between these two sides outside of the granny. Back in 80, they've averaged 99,400. Look out for Dusty Martin. In his past four finals, he's racked up 27 touches and 136 ranking points per game.
Rance is going to go to De Goey first of all. De Goey's gone down to full forward and Rance will stand him.
And Levi Greenwood takes his spot alongside Dusty Martin. Juddy would think that'll be a head-to-head tonight.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, it is full to the rafters. The MCG prelim final underway. Brodie Grundy got over the top of Nankerv. It's Dusty. He gets in and under, spills out. Levi Greenwood, high, tumbling kick to half forward. Good mark taken down there. It's the rising star Stevenson. Gets it moving quickly. Hoskin Elliott. Flostone. Back then Lambert. Good tackle pressure from the Pies early. Tigers dump it out of their defensive zone.
Nice start by the Pies. A couple of early possessions, but now the Tigers through Rioli on the wing. Back to Rioli. Exciting play. Long ball inside 50 towards Revolt. Gets one hand, gets two hands. And Rioli lights up the MCG early. And Jack Revolt will go back for the first shot of the evening from about 40 out, no great angle.
Yeah, huge movement of play. What about the effort down there from Nick Flustone? It looked like a mark down there to Hoskin Elliott. It was just able to get that hand in late. Then they went from end to end to this man, Rewalt, who's lit it up all year. But a big tick too to young Stevenson, who had a bad one last week, took a big courageous mark early.
Jack Revolt to open scoring in the first preliminary final from 40 metres out. Leans back on it and misses to the near side. Richmond are away one behind. Collingwood yet to score on the Triple M Ream scoreboard.
And Dusty Martin started in the centre square, then taking the big Greenwood straight to fullback.
Jeremy Howe goes short. Tom Langdon in the right back pocket.
I wonder if Maynard rolls over with that one, Judge.
Yeah, I think he probably will.
Speaking of Maynard, he's got the ball in hand now. On cue down the line looking for Phillips. Camden McIntosh got in, broke it up off his hands, boundary throw. It's about 60 around from the city end goal. That's where the Tigers are attacking, and they've got the only score, which is a behind.
So Maynard looks like he'll take him. Then he goes up to the stoppage and hands over to Greenwood.
It's Nathan Brown, Chris Judd, Triple M Seabus super special comments. No one really wins the ruck contest. The Tigers inch the ball inside 50. Pendlebury, who spoke to us pre-game, he's just got time and space delivers by hand. Now it's up towards Rance on the wing to Goey. Attacks the footy hard, wins it for a short period of time, and he might get another opportunity here to Goey.
Got it back from Mason Cox. Great attack on the footy, Jordan to Goey. He got it stripped of him though by Rance, who dumped a little handball to Short. Long down the line, Rioli, Maynard. Good hands, Maynard. Grundy gets involved in the play as he does so well for a big man to Phillips. Pies back inside 50 to Goey. Did he have his arm slapped away? He thought so. Umpire said no. Grimes, Asprey, Tiger defence, long down the line. Rioli in the play, Maynard over the top and gives Rioli a little something to go on with, and it's gone across for a boundary thrown right in front of Nerily Meadows down there.
I'll tell you what, boys, it is hot down here. You just have that feeling they're just running harder, they're hitting harder. It is absolutely amazing down here at ground level. They're pumped.
You heard the umpire mic'd up for Triple M. That's going the way of Nan Curvis against Grundy in the ruck contest. So Nank the tank immediately by hand to Short, who drives a long ball forward. Goldsack wasn't sure whether to come or not. He didn't need to in the end because Levi Greenwood just sagged back and took a very nice one-handed mark on his defensive 50.
Started well, Greenwood.
The man known as the Pig, Levi Greenwood, to Mason Cox. That's what he's in the side to do. Nath Brown is bringing it to ground, but it's been taken by Short. Tigers edge to half forward. Langdon in good shape. And he went back courageously at half back. Took a good mark. Goes Short to Tyson Goldstack. One of the most remarkable performances we've seen back from a knee reconstruction in the pre-season. They've transferred this one pretty well. Hoskin Elliott. Run provided out wide. Jeremy Howe. He goes long down the line looking for Mihocek. To Goey again. He's been prominent early. Couldn't keep it in. Boundary throw-in. 60 metres around from the Magpie punt road end goal.
But it's the way to beat Richmond. Move the ball from one side of the ground to the other, and then you get the space. If you go back down the skinny side of the ground, Richmond set up too well, but you can spread them on the outer if you're courageous with your kicks.
Nathan Brown, Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super with insurance to protect building construction workers. Nice bit of work by Prestia. He just dumps it down the wing. Strange bounce of the ball. Opens the door for Langdon. Goes a clever little kick round the corner. Treloar. Main. Side bottom. Back to Treloar. Misses him by hand. And Cochin applies some real body pressure.
Yeah, did it well. Free kick's been picked out. And it's going the way of the Tigers. They're away. But it is going to be dragged back. In fact, it's going the way of the Magpies. So
holding the ball, Das.
Scotty Pendlebury, the recipient, got hold of Prestia.
Just feel like the umpires erred on the side of caution, not paying a 50-metre penalty there because it is very noisy, but to the letter of the law should have been 50 metres to the Magpies.
Chris Judd, Nath Brown, all Australians, Norm Smith medals, Lou Richards medals, you name it, the Seabus Super special comments. We've got it all covered back there. Here come the Magpies again. Mason Cox involved. Ground ball to be won. Charging through at ground level to Pig Greenwood. Picked up by Flostone. Into the centre. Goldsack punches it away from Rewalt. Picked up by Pendlebury. Had his pocket picked, and they're away here.
The Tigers with only one man in front of them. They go short. It just misses Caddy. Howe needs to be courageous. Left his man, which was Martin. Did it wonderfully well. And the Pies now have all of a sudden got the ball on the wing with Hoskin Elliott.
He's got an opportunity, Hoskin Elliott, with a bit of time and space. Mihocek over the top. Here's to Goey, and the Tiger defence have been so well organised all year, Jay, and again they just cut down the space pretty well.
Oh, and it's just a fingertip there that stopped that from being marked inside Collingwood's forward 50, and down the other end it was so much as the bounce of the ball. So inches in this game so far.
Nice start to this game. 5 minutes 45 gone. Just the one behind the Tigers. Boundary throwing in attack. The Pies. Brodie Grundy taken away by Graham. What a grand final that young man played last year. Kicked 3 goals. Higgins out the back. Debutant year. He's been outstanding. Edwards got a hand in. Tried to hack it off the ground. Through 50 come the Tigers. Lambert had a fresh airy. Defensive tackle was really good back there by Crisp. In comes Higgins again. This footy's 45 out from the Tigers' goal. Rioli picks it up. Right foot banana. And he's had a flying shot at the goal and missed. Minor score. Tigers 2 behind. Pies yet to score. Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Richmond's league's really evident so far in this game. Edwards, Rioli, Lambert as well, just looking very quick around the ground.
Nankervis outpoints Grundy. A couple of early wins for the Richmond ruckman. Goes in board nicely to Cochin. He's a kick and a half from home. A lot of players forward to the centre, so Cochin will just pull the trigger. He'll drop it to about 20 from the attacking goal for the Tigers. Edwards, they're playing volleyball with it down there. Applying a tackle is Langdon, and the umpire will separate them. 20 out from the Tigers' goal. Richmond are 2 behind. Collingwood are yet to score on the Triple M Ream score, but if your hot water needs replacing, You've set nothing less than Australia's best. Install the room.
Brady Grundy and Jack Rewalt compete for the ruck. It was kicked out of the pack initially by Phillips. Ricochets back to Graham, bends it to the goal square and getting back Maynard. And what he's done is taken the mark and then he's kicked it out through the behinds. So that automatically becomes another behind. And that takes the Tigers to 3 behinds. Pies are yet to score. 7.5 gone first term. Triple M Ream scoreboard.
What do you like, Q?
Yeah, loose ball gets for the Tigers 9-5 their way.
Mason Cox in front of his parents, who he spoke to pre-game, takes a strong mark across half-back, members' side. Doesn't really time the kick down the wing. It's going to fall towards Vlosten. He overruns it. Great work by Varco. Picks it up where few would have had that opportunity. Further on to Thomas. He slides one inside 50 to go. He's off Rance and hits him. Jordan to Goey tied on the boundary line. Think Luke Hodge against West Coast for the check side in a grand final, and that is where Jordan de Goey will have to kick this. He's playing on. He's going to hook it round the corner to Goey. Great strike. Wonderful strike. Opening goal of the prelim final. Jordan de Goey strikes. Collingwood 1 straight. Richmond 3 behinds. Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Couple of huge moments there, Howie. You called Mason Cox's mark at half back. They were out if they hadn't have got that footy in Mason Cox's hands. A big contested mark, similar to what we saw McDonald from Melbourne do in the Friday night game a couple of weeks ago against Geelong. Marked it at half back, then moved it on. And Jordan de Goey, all the focus all week has been about him. He was unbelievable last week. Now he's playing on the best defender in the competition, and he's looked sharp early. He's got the first one, and that is a huge goal, not only for his confidence, but Collingwood to say, he's our man, he can do it all night.
Triple M C-Bus super special comments. That was the voice of Nath Brown. And it's Jordan de Goey kicks the first in the prelim final. It's the Magpies by 3 points. Dusty went off the ground. Treloar got him, won a really good ball. Back to Sire. To half forward. Pendlebury squeezed the handball out. Adams cleverly slapped forward. Mason Cox slapped it on. And now a chance. And just missing was Brodie Mihocek. It was nearly something special. Might have scored the end result. 1-1-7 Collingwood 3 behinds. The Tigers Triple M Ream scoreboard.
The MCG is absolutely pulsing at the moment. Yellow, black and white everywhere. As the Pies get it across the line, they've probably settled the better of the two. Two-man.
Yeah, in the last 2 times Collingwood have played Richmond, Richmond have forced Collingwood to have more handballs than kicks. Well, tonight, Maggies, 24 kicks to 12 handballs, 2-1.
Boundary throw-in. Pies have just struck a nice little bit of momentum here. They've got it on the edge of 50. Reece Conker slapped it forward. Prestia, good tackle from Howe. Handball came out to Graham. Tried to keep it in. Umpire is actually going to call a boundary throw-in right in front of the interchange race. Members wing side, MCG. Boundary throw-in, 1-1-7 Collingwood. 3 behinds the Tigers. 10-minute mark of the first quarter here on the Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Rugby League preliminary final. The Melbourne Storm, 8 minutes in, have got 2 points on the board. The Sharks, who have beaten them a couple of times this year, have yet to score. So the Storm lead at 2-0 just across the way at Amy Park. Nearly 100,000 at the G. There'll be 30 in at Amy Park. It's all happening within a kilometre of each other. You're not missing anything here because the ball is going to be tossed up centre wing. What are your early thoughts, Judge?
I think Collingwood maybe just been a little bit cleaner when it counted. Pendlebury possessions early. He started really well also.
Side bottom, belts it off the ground. He'll get it back from Adams. Little slider to Mason Cox, who started this nicely, the big man. He's too far out to score, so he'll drop it 30 from home. Big fly to Goey. Punched down by the Tiger defenders. Lambert under all sorts of pressure from Main. Got to be good. Is just a clearing hand pass.
Sire worked his man off it well. Big body for a young man. Went back, won a hard footy. And he was tackled immediately. A true centre-half forward for the Magpies. And it will be thrown up.
They have to continually take the game on here, Collingwood. Continually try and make their kicks because Richmond, they don't start that well, but they just grind you. They grind you, they tackle you, they get the ball back eventually. So Collingwood need to make the most of this momentum early.
Chris Main at the bottom of this pack. A lot of numbers around it. And the Magpie midfield is very, very deep and talented one, and they're performing well. Caddy's worked up into the midfield. He's hacked this one to half forward. Goldsack's got the job on Rewalt. The two of them go head to head. Oh, Goldsack did really well. Tested the knee out there. Stood up well. Kick around the body. Finds the very talented still side bottom.
He goes short. Finds Sire. Looks to be okay after that corky last week where he missed some of the game. Bit indecisive in the end. Loops a hand pass to Steele side bottom. Little outside of the foot kick is clever. and works into the corridor, back to Sire. He had no one to hand pass to, so just thought I better get rid of the footy. Conker kicked in a hurry where he probably had some more time. Now Langdon's got an issue. Somehow throws the ball onto his boot.
Did it pretty well in the end. Levi Greenwood's been good early. He's got the job on Dusty. Mihocek, front and centre. Bashar Hooley, his handball intercepted. Well played, Brodie Mihocek. Got it back, Taylor Adams. Squeezes it back to Main. Short kick to Varco. Oh, the Magpies have started this game very well. And Varco can shoot from 35 metres, Judge.
He's been involved a couple of times early. Their first goal was on the back of a loose ball, get the Varco swallowed up, and just made really good space there to give an option in their forward 50 for Maine.
Sister Maggie tragically died 4 weeks ago. Incredible courage to perform as well as he has done this final series. Trav Varco for the second for the Magpies. He likes it. Listen to the Collingwood Army. First 2 goals of the prelim final. 2-1-13 Collingwood, 3 behinds the Tigers. Triple M Ream scoreboard.
They've gone to town, they've gone to work on Richmond and the way they beat them, and kicks early, 13 kicks, short kicks to 1. Their percentage 79 to 37. When you kick the footy against Richmond, you find your way through. When you handball, like they did a couple of times, Sire found himself in some trouble. When you overhandball the footy, you're going to get in trouble. But when you kick the ball, you're a chance.
Collingwood, 63% time in the forward half opposed to Richmond only 37. Now Richmond ranks second in that stat.
Now there's times for Richmond supporters. Collingwood have kicked the first 2. They lead it by 10 points on the Triple M Ream scoreboard. If your hot water needs replacing, accept nothing less than Australia's best. Install a Ream for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks finals footy. Richmond just punt it forward off the ground. Phillips is there. Hand pass to Langdon, who's had a lot of it early. He's got a real issue now. He's caught from behind. Great work, Castagna. Up ice says play on. Martin goes short to Conker. Short little hard one to Revolt. And Jack, who missed an early opportunity to get things underway, will have a shot from a similar distance, this time from the member side of the ground, about 40 out.
Good composure from Conker. Would have been okay to blaze away from 50 on the run. Adrenaline's up, but he lowered his eyes. He found Revolt leading up, and now Revolt's already missed one. Needs to kick this.
You want this Jack Revolt just to settle the nerves of his team, of himself, of his supporters. He's hooked it again. So 2 early misses to Jack Revolt.
No.
He snuck it home, has
Drifted
he?
back.
Gee, it did drift back a long way. Good finish in the end by Revolt. Just dived late. And Richmond get there first, 1-3-9. Collingwood 2-1-13 on the Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Well, it's a brilliant tackle by Castagna that created that holding the ball opportunity and first caused that turnover. And that's Richmond's main score source, the ability to be able to create forward half turnovers. But what was interesting was that Dusty Martin picked up the ball and then claimed the advantage, even though he was about to be tackled. It just shows how much confidence that man has, even when there's pressure abounds. And that was his first touch. So 40 minutes in for Dusty to get his first touch. So you'd have to say that Levi Greenwood is right on top in that battle so far.
Seabus Super, with insurances that protect building and construction workers. The Seabus Super Special Comments team doing an outstanding job. Chris Judd, Nath Brown all over it. Bounce favoured Brodie Grundy. He was up against Grigg, and Grigg decided he was going to get out the way. So the Pies get it to centre forward. Grundy's followed up his work nicely. Back to Taylor Adams. Rants in the one-on-one, and he got some support from the side. Glostone sliding in, takes a good mark.
Glostone from full back, squeezes it wide towards the wing. McIntosh, who kicked 3 against the Hawks, 2 in the first final.
He did, which was a PB.
Takes a nice mark out of flank in front of a packed MCG. Elects to drop it long down towards Revolt, who just nudges Goldsack and takes a good mark.
Jack Revolt gets it moving. High, long ball. Dusty's the deepest forward. Good defensive spoil. Jeremy Howe looks like he's going to take him when he's down there, Brownie.
If I'm Damien Hardwick right now, I'm looking, there's not a lot of real lockdown tags in this era. He's not getting a lot of footy in the midfield. I would be exclusively playing Dustin Martin centre forward. I mean, centre half forward. I'd put pressure on Collingwood's defenders and play him exclusively as a forward.
Revolt, he was the elected player in the ruck. Grundy belts it towards the line. The umpire says, no, that's okay. I'll just reset things, toss it in. Forward flank for the Tigers. They're 1-3. Collingwood's 2-1. Goals by De Goey and Varco and Revolt for the Tigers.
So another boundary throw in. It is a 4-point lead to the Magpies. 16.5 gone first term. Brodie Grundy, he is up against Grigg in the ruck at the moment. Dominating, but picked up back there and sent forward by Broad. Inside forward 50. Ricochet off the back of Tyson Goldsack. Higgins is getting down low. It's tucked up on the boundary line. Back in there, Goldsack, wrapped up by Caddy. And the umpire says, give it to me. Oh, free kick's been picked out, I reckon.
I'm keeping an eye on him, Jack.
Just a warning it was. The umpire looked at, I think it was Greenwood, said keep the elbows down. So it's been thrown up inside forward 50.
The Tigers managed to keep it in. They push it forward right to the goal square. Phillips to Maynard to Aish. Just hangs it out towards the flank. Sets his defenders a bit of a task, but up to the job is Chris. Does wonderfully well. Now Phillips ducks, dives, waits, and hits a beautiful ball to Hoskin Elliott, who bounces away from him. Now Varco steams through, can't pick it up, goes to ground, might spill out towards Phillips, twists, turns, eventually picks it up.
Kicks it over the top of Broad. Chance for Treloar, who's worked hard. Confronting him was Rance. They both got a poor bounce. Basher Hooley gets involved. Back to Broad. Kick under pressure down the line is going to favour Cochin. Little squeezing handball is okay to Grigg. Now some run. McIntosh takes a bounce, runs to centre wing, members side, long down the line. Howe couldn't complete the mark. Castagna front and centre. Adams the other way was really tough, really brave. And the Magpies through Ace to side bottom.
He'll immediately play on. He's got to Goey deep. He's a bit far away at this point. Now he runs, hoofs it down. He might have got hit after play. Darcy's watching it, gets away from Varco inside 50. The dangerous Hoskin Elliott. But Concar splits a wide ball out towards McIntosh. He's got no support, so just hand passes to himself. Does it really well, Camden McIntosh. Eventually gives it to Rance.
Play on's a call. I thought there was a whistle there for a moment. Confused a few people, including me. In the meantime, the Magpies have got it. Taylor Adams short. Space everywhere. Josh Thomas is going to square it to Varco. And Trev Varco puts his hand up and says, Juddy, I can kick this 40 metres out directly in front.
He has looked electric so far, Varco. His leg speed's really stood out. He's been clean with his hands and he's about to come up for his second set shot at goal.
Well, he's handed it off back to Goldsack, which is a staggering decision. Goldsack then on the run.
That's poor.
Why would he do that?
He's a beautiful kick, Varco. He's already nailed one. Take the responsibility, kick the goal. That's what you're there for. That's what you're paid to do.
Jeez, and so Goldsack misses. Golden opportunity goes begging. 2-2-14 Collingwood, 1-3-9 the Tigers. Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Let off for the Tigers. Vlosten. Camp right, deep in his back line. He goes across the face of goal to Vlostone. Pulls the trigger on a good long ball to Martin Chew.
3 touches.
He heads down towards Caddy and Langdon. Langdon's had a fair bit of it early. Caddy can't complete the mark. He's got some support from Conker. He goes that way by hand now. His kick is smothered. Lambert hits the footy hard, can't pick it up. Again, Langdon with a clever hand pass to Howe, drops the footy. Now he's got a couple of concerns. Still Richmond just sort of push and maul the ball forward. And eventually it's across the line, about 70 out from their goal. Langdon called his name a bit chew.
6 disposals and a couple of marks for Bosch Tools.
Still can't work out what Travis Varco is thinking there. It's whether Goldsack's called loudly in his ear, and
I don't know what Goldsack was doing, calling for the ball as well.
Strange decision. Well done, Mason Cox. Got it beautifully down to Pendlebury. Tracking the great Southern Stand wing side of the G. To Goey comes out. He's been opposed to Rance. And he couldn't keep it in boundary throwing. About 80 metres out from the punt road end. It's where the Pies are attacking to.
The ball spent a lot of time bobbling around on the ground so far in this first quarter. And I have to say, Collingwood, on most of those occasions when it's been a 50-50 ball, have looked the harder side going at that 50-50 footy.
Both coaches looking reasonably tense, as you'd expect, on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Chemist Warehouse home to big savings every day. Contested ball to be won out of wing. It's the Pies who are coming up with those at the moment. Maynard squeezes the ball to Greenwood, picks it up beautifully, spins out of trouble, now might have spun into trouble. Eventually releases the ball high inside 50. Hoskin Elliott coming back with a flight. Absolutely courageous effort by side bottom. He's going to pick it up here, steals side bottom to Crisp on the left foot from 45. Jack Crisp. It's another one for the Pies. Dream start for Collingwood. 3-2-20. Richmond 1-3-9 on the Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Brilliant handball by side bottom, wasn't it? We saw him go back with the flight of the ball. Incredibly brave in that marking contest only moments earlier. Then to spit that handball out to Jack Crisp, just put the perfect amount out in front of him so he didn't have to break stride. Precluded the Richmond player from being able to put on too much tackle pressure. But there's no doubt they've settled the better here, Magpies. They're looking to kick the ball as much as possible. They've done their homework and they look like they've got Richmond's measure at the start of this game.
Just the last 2 times Collingwood have played Richmond, they've lost inside 50 count by 13 per game. Well, tonight they're up 14-8.
The bounce is ordinary. It'll be recalled. Let's get down to Nerily Meadows for Bob Jane teammates.
Several times already this quarter there have been Collingwood players coming to the bench wanting a break. Mihocek and Varco on that occasion that was sent back out there. They are absolutely knackered, putting everything in.
Bob Jane, the tyre and wheel specialist, kick came into the direction of Daniel Rioli. Juggling mark has been paid.
Good mark.
Half forward, 2 kicks from home. Rioli sends it down the line. Revolt, normally the intended target. Oh, how spectacular spoil it was in the end. Picked up by Sidebottom. What an elite player he is. Main back there did well. Danced around an opponent. Got it to Crisp. Now this ball's got to be good through the corridor. Mihocek, the intended target, smashed away from him. Picked up though by Sire. Magpies win it again out wide to Treloar.
Treloar runs his full measure, bangs it inside 50. Tigers have got the numbers. Wonderful diving effort by Dylan Grimes. Couldn't mark it but spoiled it. Picked it up himself. Back to Rioli. He'll reset them on the wing. Got a man further down the line. Hits him in Higgins. Wants to go short to Lambert on the point of the square. Richmond trail by 11 points.
So Lambert gets the opportunity to send this one inside forward 50. Tyson Goldsack, take a bow. One-on-one effort. Outpointed Jack Revolt there. A little Storm update. They're playing just across the road. They lead at 6-0 early stages of their big prelim final against the Sharks.
Jack Rewight looks to be trying to go the body a little bit too much in the marking contest at the moment. He's much better when he runs and jumps at it.
Big mark, Mason Cox in front of Nan Curvis. Good contested mark. He started well, Howie.
He has, and he let the big Nack know about it too. Got right into his face, delivered it down the line. Varco, he was away, but there's a push. It's going the way of Rance. Could have been against Grundy. In fact, Nick Vlosten will be the one that winds up with it. And he's got it on the defensive side of the wing.
Nathan Buckley is absolutely seething about that. Brodie Grundy's done exactly what you want to do, big man. Gave a good contest. Didn't think there was a whole heap in the free kick. It's a Tigers ball, though, at half forward. And Jack Rewold has taken a good mark. Still 2 kicks from home. He cuts back in ball with a little short one. Finds Kane Lambert. Had an extraordinary couple of years, Kane Lambert. But a lot of long, slow play from the Tigers. Down the line, Howe again able to get his fist first on the footy. Strong tackle applied down there, Dusty Martin. Still side bottom, had one arm taken. Managed to somehow dispossess the footy without giving away a free kick. And it will be a thrown up ball. Little just a cheapie there from Dusty Martin and Levi Greenwood, I saw, Brownie.
Certainly was.
So the Tigers, a real positive movement as they are moving the ball forward in attack at the moment. Now the ball gets spilled out towards the wing. Grundy to Varco, who's possibly been the Pies' best. He's given it to Thomas. He's saying, keep running, Josh. Take the second bounce. Runs a long way. Hacks it inside 50. Mihocek takes the mark, and Brodie Mihocek will have a shot from 30 out directly in front to open it up to a 26-9 game.
Hasn't been many clubs who have done this to Richmond so far this year, out of their defensive end and just run and carry. Brodie Gunter is outstanding. Jaden Short has had a first quarter he won't want to see. He was looking for the body then. He had a player behind him and he thought that his teammate was going to do the job for him. He needs to do the job himself one-on-one. He's been poor in this first quarter, Short.
Number 41, Brodie Mihocek, in front of an enormous crowd. Sticks it straight through the middle. Concerns for the Tigs. Collingwood 4-2-26. Richmond 1-3-9. 26 minutes gone. First term, Triple M Ream scoreboard.
Well, we spoke, Howie, pre-game about the fact that Richmond have had 2 out of the last 3 weeks off. And when people speak about where that could be an issue, it is at the start of the game when you're still trying to grasp the speed of finals football and you've only played once in the last 3 weeks. So that'll come back to help Richmond later on. But at this stage, Collingwood are definitely the team that has settled best. And the man leading that charge is Steele Sidebottom. He's had 8 disposals and 2 clearances. We know he's leading the Gary Ayres medal for player of the final series so far. He started off brilliantly tonight as well.
So Brodie Mihocek gives the Magpies a 17-point lead. Minute 47 remaining until quarter time. Sire sends him deep into attack. Out comes to Goey. Bounces past him. Bounces past Rance. Stevenson's lightning quick. Couldn't keep it in. Boundary throw in. And right now, if you're Damien Hardwick, you want the siren to go and you want to regroup pretty
Real
quickly.
concerns.
Gee, Stevenson's got some toe. He ran past Rance like he was standing still as the ball tumbled into the forward pocket. It's 26-9 the way of Collingwood. A minute and a half to go before the quarter-time break. Collingwood are holding on, but it falls to De Goey. Jordan De Goey has got two. And Collingwood are torching the Tigers at the moment. 5-2-32. Richmond 1-3-9. Collingwood fans think they're in a dream. The Tigers, at the moment, in a bit of a nightmare.
This is all at sea at the moment, the Tigers, aren't they? The one before that, Jaden Short, didn't know what to do in a one-on-one contest on that occasion. I haven't seen Richmond be outnumbered in their defensive end at a stoppage like that. Brodie Grundy worked his way to the front, and then they just had three players on the defensive side, Richmond. Nobody on the attacking side in the middle of the ground. Just an easy hand out to Jordan De Goey, who found himself on his own unbelievably. He's like, how good is this? This is Christmas. Left foot snap, easily done. This concentration was poor from the Richmond defenders.
Monopoly game at Macca's is on now. Head into the store and play today. Triple M rocking in the prelim final thanks to McDonald's. And the Magpies are all over the Tigers. Thomas forward again. Back there was Stevenson. Grimes got smashed by De Goey. Managed to get the handball to Lambert. To Asprey. His kick's a shocker off the side of the boot. Out of bounds on the full. 23-point lead Collingwood. Minute 7 remaining in the first quarter. And it's going inside 50 again for the Pies.
Just shows if you put any team under enough pressure, the cracks do start to appear. And we haven't seen Richmond this jumpy all season.
23-point lead to the Pies. Deep in the first term. They go inside 50 again. Punched away from Cox to Grundy. Phillips hemmed in on the line. Centering ball. Well done.
A lot of Richmond players falling over. He fell over when he took that mark. Then
Lostone.
Josh Caddy fell over. Kane Lambert fell over when he tried to kick the footy. That's at least 4 players now have fallen over for the Tigers.
And what about that for a nervy kick? Nick Lostone, JD, described that one.
Well, he just kicked it 5 metres over his teammate's head in the defensive 50. He's taken the mark. There's no pressure on it, but that's the thing about pressure. It's perceived. There's no doubt the Richmond defenders feel like they're under siege at the minute.
22 wins in a row. It is a VFL, AFL record here at the MCG. And you always thought prelim final day, if you got on top, would that little man in the head just start to run around a bit more than ever before? The skipper, Trent Cotchin, steps up, wins a contested footy, free kick in the back pocket and sends it down the line. Big pack form. Out the back main. Here they come again. Aish tumbles one inside 50. They are under siege, the Richmond defence. Rance back there. He can't get space. Almost taken without possession. And eventually it comes back out to Graham, who sends it long and high.
Contest on the wing. Punch down towards the Tigers. They are under siege at the moment. They somehow screw it round the corner, get it to the wing only as far as Crisp. Penrith. Quarter time, MCG. Richmond 9, Collingwood 32. Tigers numbers 2.
Inside 50s, Howie. They only had 11, but Collingwood racked up 20 for Bosch Tools. Richmond only concede 12 per quarter.
An enormous first quarter of football by the Pies. They are 5-2-32. Richmond 1-3-9. Collingwood lead it at quarter time in the first preliminary final by 23 points. The Collingwood chant is up for McDonald's. Triple M rocks. Finals footy. At quarter time at the MCG first preliminary final in front of 90 plus, because Collingwood have banged on 5. They're 5-2-32. Richmond are 1-3-9. The Pies by 23 points at the first break. The Triple M Bosch Tools stats. Bosch Power Tools and Accessories. Good better Bosch. Chewy, what's going on?
Well, still side bottom. Leading ball winner with 9 disposals and a couple of clearances. Magpies plus 30 in uncontested ball.
Bob Jane T-Marts, Nezelenko.
I've seen a lot of very relaxed Richmond huddles in 2018. That was not one of them. Damien Hardwick had a lot to say, brought his men in tighter than you usually see at quarter time for Richmond. Collingwood, very relaxed indeed, but they were absolutely knackered in that first quarter, going all out, the Pies.
Triple M Seabus Super Special Comments. Seabus Super with insurance that protect building and construction workers. You got the judge and Noodles Brown.
Well, Richmond based their game around tackle pressure, and the fact of the matter is Collingwood kicked the ball really effectively that quarter. Kicking efficiency for Collingwood was 73% to Richmond's 55%. Like we say, if you mark the ball, you can't be tackled. So they've done their homework, We know Richmond play on a skinny ground. Looked like Collingwood were trying to change the angles, Nate Brown.
Yeah, I thought every loose ball out there tonight, Collingwood won. It was a 50-50 contest. Collingwood won it. But you know what? Richmond are going to come back. At some point in this quarter, in the third quarter, they are going to put Collingwood to the sword, and it's going to be how Collingwood then react to that. This is a huge quarter coming up.
Hey, great news over at the Melbourne Storm game. They are leading 12-0 against the Sharks. 30 minutes gone. Howie and Cam Smith looks like he's lining up to add more on the scoreboard. We'll keep you updated with the Storm.
That's extraordinary. We're looking up at a patch of seats. What is it, 400 seats with no one in them? I don't know how that happens in a sold-out game.
Yeah, it's just adjacent to the MCC members, and we know at Margaret Court Arena, just around literally a couple of torpedoes away, Collingwood have got a live site essentially with about 5,000 people. Get them in here.
Yeah, that's it.
Strange stuff. And what about this start to the prelim final? The Magpies have laid down a big challenge. 23-point leaders. Here's Mark Howard.
Away we go, second term. Collingwood looking to continue their run. Pendlebury has so much time to side bottom. He was a star in the first term. Hooks it round the corner, well picked up. Now immediately Treloar picks up the footy, and he's got a couple of tacklers. One of them's Cochin. So the umpire will separate them and toss it up. Richmond just pushed into their defensive area. They trail by 23 points. Nezelenko.
Sire suffered that really nasty cork last week, just getting a fair bit of heat applied to it just now on the bench.
Gee, that's a big call.
Nankervis was the tackler, Juddy, and he was awarded holding the foot. He thought it was a bit red hot.
I don't think Maine had a chance to get rid of that. It was a great tackle, but I would have let it go for mine.
Nice bit of aggression from Nankervis. I get the feeling that has been the instruction from Damien Hart. They haven't been super competitive.
No, he won two big battles early, Nankervis, probably 3 or 4 minutes in, but Brodie Grundy controlled that first quarter. His tap work and his aggression gave Collingwood first use, and I think he's well on top of that battle.
Maine standing next to Lambert, Cochin and Treloar. Punch back towards the boundary line, out of side, well done by Cochin. Really showed intent for the footy. Maine escorts Lambert across the line on the outer side. The umpire will reset them. The Storm leading 14-0 now, 31 minutes into the first half of that preliminary final against the Cronulla Sharks.
If you're Damien Hardwick, this is when you want your leaders to stand up. Cochin's got involved early. Dustin Martin's the next one you'd want to get involved.
Just joined us on Triple M Footy. 5-2-32, the Magpies. 1-3-9, the Tigers. Early stages, second quarter, side bottom. He started in superb fashion to Pendlebury. Down the line, Mihocek, the target. Oh, Taylor Adams, they're winning all the one-on-ones, the Magpies. Adams slightly off the side of his boot. The Goeys look dangerous. Got a couple of first quarter goals. Rance socketed only as far as Treloar. Big chance, Mason Cox coming up, and he's clunked it. Big Maso! Wow! This is unbelievable. And he can go back and kick from about 25 metres.
Came from another clearance task. Brodie Grundy, we just spoke about him. 6 hitouts to advantage already tonight. 6 hitouts already 2 minutes into the second quarter. Nankervis hasn't had one yet.
Mason Cox can go back and kick this. It'll be 4 unanswered goals. The Magpies, it'll be 6 goals to 1. And you'll be getting pretty twitchy if you're a Tigers supporter. And he delivers it through. Unbelievable scenes. Mason Cox goals, 29-point lead, the Magpies, and we've played 2.5 minutes in the second term. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
That's what makes him so dangerous, Brown. It was just a kick to the top of the square, and we know that when you're well over 200 centimetres like he is, he's got a very unique talent. But watching him this year, this looks like a machine learning program. We know he had a really poor first final, but he went away. He improved his approach. He was running under the ball too much in that. He had a solid game last week, but this week already he's taken, I reckon, 4 contested marks already, Two-Man.
Right now, the swagger he's got at the moment. He's chewing that chewing gum like Viv Richards.
His body language is elite, so he's definitely come to play, Mason Cox.
And those scores from clearances. Collingwood 3-1, Richmond scoreless.
Not sure yet. Too frequently here in the preliminary final, the call of USA around the MCG, but that's what we're being subjected to, and he has got real swagger, Brown. He's got the real strut to him, doesn't he?
He did have the strut. He was looking up at the monitors going, yep, here I am.
Dusty Martin's numbers, please, Two-Man.
He's only had 4 touches.
They've got to get some impact out of Dusty. Levi Greenwood all over him. It's Treloar who wins it again. Sends it forward. Varco back with a flight. Good mark. Still inside the centre square. The Tigers, they're rattled. Not seeing any of that fanatical pressure that has been their trademark so far. Varco spears a kick inside forward 50. McIntosh Ran into a teammate, spills out Treloar, running towards goal. Can he bend it back through? Adam Treloar just across the face. It looked pretty good, Juddy.
It did. I thought it was curving round, and they need to get another one or two goals here, and a huge amount of pressure is starting to go on Richmond. They'll start to take an inordinate amount of risk.
And they grind Richmond, but they've never been behind by this much and come back this year.
It's gone past a nervous start. This is a 5-goal lead now. Have you seen anything from Dustin Martin to see that he's not moving well, Brownie, or he's just not getting the footy?
He starts off the centre square down in the forward end, comes up and plays on ball, but just not getting into the footy. But Toby Nankervis is getting his hand to the footy either.
Free kick to Adams. He's a kick and a half from home. This is getting really dangerous for the Tigers. Cox is deep again. He comes out. Oh! This time he's taken a hanger, Mason Cox. And he just looks at everyone as if to say, what did you expect from me, Brownie?
I told you this before the game, Howie. I said it's set up for this big man tonight.
He's on a heater.
Wow. That wasn't a stand and deliver, Dust. That was a hang.
Jeez.
He got in the back of Trent Cotchin. He's 9 foot tall as it is. Got to about 13 foot. This to open it to a 6-goal margin. Mason Cox, not much angle, stabs at it. And it is a goal. Unbelievable at the MCG. A bloke from the States is lighting this up. Collingwood 7-3-45, Richmond 1-3-9, and again, USA.
They just can't get any free footy at the moment, Richmond. Every time they do, they either fumble it, Collingwood put pressure on them, or they turn it over. They're playing a game, Collingwood, that Richmond play against everybody else. Enormous pressure and then run and carry the footy with exciting movements. Right now, Richmond are being beaten completely at their own game.
Unbelievable scenes. Mason Cox, 211-centimetre American, takes a hanger in a prelim final. You cannot write the script for this stuff. And that is 5 unanswered goals, 7 goals to 1, 36-point lead. And this is going to take something special now for the Tigers. They are on the canvas and they're twitching at the moment. And here come the Pies again. Sire, Mason Cox. Oh, I nearly got it again. Taylor Adams came past. Back there, Conker. It's a nervous, fumbly Tigers. Can't get clean possession. Adams back in. And it's a Pies free kick. It is all Collingwood. Taylor Adams picks up, gets it moving, spears the kick, wanted to go. He just taken by Bashar Hooley back there.
Surely he was just dropping that high in the goal scorer.
Just put it out in front of the big man, I would have thought.
It's going to come back though. Ace, spoiled from him. Adams, looping hand pass from Treloar. Adams overruns it. Chewy, what's Mason Cox numbers?
Unbelievable. 3 contested marks and 7 touches, 2 majors.
Wow, it's come to Langdon on the wing.
27 inside 50 to 11. Richmond just need to get the ball in their hands for a period of time. Chip it around, slow this momentum. Then this is a runaway freight train at the moment.
They are so wobbly at the moment, the Tigers. They just don't look to have any of their normal system. This is an extraordinary start to this final. Here's side bottom, total control now, the Magpies. Main gets it back to side bottom. Castagna, oh, that's a big moment. Well done, the little man, Georgie Castagna. That's what they needed. Big chase down tackle.
It's the type of thing they need just to get some spark. Chewy, Tigers numbers that need to get rolling.
Well, they can't get inside 50. They haven't gone inside since the 24-minute mark of the first quarter, but they're getting smacked in contested ball this term, 14-5.
Dustin Martin is deep. Ball right out on the outer wing, and it is punched across the boundary line. Tigers and players that need to get moving, Chew.
Yeah, well, right on cue there. Dustin Martin, he's only had 4 possessions. Castagna, that was his first touch for Bosch Chills, and Jaden Short, who usually averages 21 per game, he's only had 3.
They didn't take the advantage then, Tigers. They are shell-shocked. It was a big tackle by Castagna. Lambert picked it up. They had players running everywhere, elected to stand there and say, no, I'm not playing on, gave it back, and all of a sudden Collingwood had all their players back. They're just not playing with any sort of momentum.
Nath Brown, Chris Judd, Triple M Seabar Super Special comments. 45 plays 9. The Magpies, 7-goal-to-1 start. Unbelievable. 93,000 plus in the house, we believe. Brodie Grundy, clean possession. Side bottom's a big factor at the moment. Got it back to Grundy. Side bottom, please, 2 men.
He's racked up 13.
Kick over the head of Mason Cox. Goes back to chase at the big man. Broad picks it up. He's got a little bit of support. A little bit of time. Can the Tigers get through?
He has inspired himself at the moment, Mason Cox. Taking marks, chasing ground balls. Now Martin, quick hand pass. Rare opportunity for the Tigers inside 50. Collingwood defenders arrive late. Castagna caught with a footy by the crisper. He cools him right down. And Crisp from centre half back goes wide to Stevenson.
Gee, they've tackled well, Collingwood. From the very first bounce, they've been elite with their pressure. Another great tackle to Crisp.
They're working harder too, Juddy. The running power on show. That's Mihocek. He's been pushed in the back. That was Cochin, the skipper, who's given away the free kick. And you look up and you just see a lot more work rate as well from the Magpies. Mihocek dumps it long. Big Meso's in the frame. Can he do it again? Asprey slapped it away this time. Adams couldn't quite keep it in. Boundary throwing. How is this extraordinary?
Every time it goes towards Cox, and the whole stadium just holds their breath. An extraordinary period of play. He's got the only 2 goals of the term, Mason Cox. Collingwood lead this 45-9, a 36-point margin, just 10 into the second quarter.
Richmond will be looking for Nankervis to do something here. He has been completely whitewashed so far by Brodie Grundy. I reckon Brodie Grundy's just about the best man on the ground with what he's doing with his taps at the moment. Nankervis, no influence. They need him in this game.
Vlosten is standing next to Cox at the moment. His umpire will toss it in. So Nick Vlosten, he's got the job. In fact, now it's Asprey standing next to him. He's 195 centimetres. And you've got Mason Cox at 211, so he's giving away 16 centimetres. A free kick going the way of Pendlebury. Everything's going the way of the Pies.
Hard ball gets in the midfield, Howie. Collingwood 14, Tigers 5.
Pendlebury does chip it to Mason Cox. It's like a replay dance.
Gee whiz.
He's got it again, the big unit. And Mason Cox on a 45-degree angle will have a shot from 30 out to kick his third for the term, and that's the kick you wanted to see, Joe.
That's right. I mean, it was a brilliant mark by Mason Cox, but it was a brilliant kick by Scott Pendlebury as well. He didn't blaze it away and kick it as far as he could. He just kicked it 35 to 40 metres out in front of Mason Cox, and when you're 211 centimetres, Duke, that's hard to stop.
Jeez.
Mason Cox lines up, keeps it low. Mason Cox is writing his name into Collingwood history at the moment. He's kicked 3 goals this term. Have a listen to the score. Collingwood 8-3-51. Richmond 1-3-9. A 7-goal margin. The only positive for the Tigers is we're 11.5 into the second term. Team USA around the MCG.
Well, you've got to get that man a new Chewy. He has worn out that Chewy at the moment.
His head's going to wobble off his shoulders.
He's very happy at the moment, and he's lit up the MCG.
Have a listen to this chant going around the MCG. The Tigers are shell-shocked. Their fans are shell-shocked. 42-point lead. Here they come again. The Pig Greenwood sends the Pies forward. Getting back there, Edwards threw it over his head to Short. He goes short. Castagna releases Grigg to Riewoldt. And that is one of the few passages of classic Richmond footy we've seen tonight. Jack Riewoldt has kicked their only goal, and he's going to go back from 55 and have a crack here, Brownie.
He's a very good kicker of the footy, Jack. He makes sweet contact. If they ever need a goal, if they ever need a big moment from this man, he's the man for it.
Mason's on the mark, has become his custom, Duke.
Yep, he's a professional mark stander. Big Meso. And in doing so, Jack Riewoldt decided to play on, give himself a bit more room, and didn't make the journey. So it's that extra couple of centimetres. The Pies are doing everything right. Ball in the goal square, it's live. Umpire says, give it to me. It's going to be thrown up 10 metres out. Punt road in. It's the Tigers in attack.
I'm putting that down as another goal to Mason Cox for his mark work there, Duke.
Yep.
I'm saying he's got 4 in my record.
Yep.
A professional mark stander.
He is, Howard.
Never heard that in the game. I'd be focusing on the 3 snags he's kicked.
He's doing it all.
He's
And
taking a
the
flamethrower to the MCG tonight.
Oh, and the cries of USA. Nathan Buckley on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay, home to big savings every day. Well, he's not smiling. He must be inside.
Unbelievable scenes here. You cannot describe just the electricity of this game. It's going to take something special for the Tigers. They are a quality outfit, we know that. 22 times they've played here and not been beaten. VFL, AFL record, and right now, 42 points down. I mean, can they do it, Juddy? Is there a way back?
Well, I thought Collingwood needed to start well for it to be close, because Richmond will come, but they want to start coming pretty soon, the Tigers.
Goldsack flicks it over to Grundy. Now Greenwood had a little bit of a slip, but he got collected high by McIntosh.
You'd think Collingwood have been the side that's had the week off, but Richmond look flat at the moment. They look lethargic. Anywhere around the footy, there's just nothing to them.
Billy Slater with his 23rd NRL Finals try, a new record. The Storm lead at 20-0 approaching half-time against the Sharkies. So the Storm, are they on their way to another granny? I'll tell you what, Collingwood might be at the moment, 51-9. Varco is out. He sizzles the ball inside 50. Arriving late is Goey. Now Hoskin Elliott. He's got a man inboard. Phillips, if he can find him, close on the boundary line. Tigers defenders arrive. Gee, they're under the pump, the Tigers. Short fumbles the footy. Now Rance. Cameron McIntosh.
Got away with one there, the Tigers. If the kick wasn't smothered, it was a certain goal again to the Magpies. Centre wing, Caddy. Need to get him into the play as well. Handball from Rewalt. Wanted Grigg. Really awkward ball for Grigg. Had to pick it up off his toes. Partially smothered handball by Goldsack. Back then Langdon. Got it to Stevenson, the rising star. Oh, here's Meso! Big Cox. Everyone fell down. He stood up. They fisted it away from him. Back to centre wing. And it's going to be wrapped up with Grigg on the southern stand wing. 51 plays, 9 two-man. And we're about halfway mark of the second quarter.
Das combined in this quarter, Cochin, Edwards and Martin 3 possessions. And the contested ball 26-11 in this term Collingwood's way.
Nice work, Chewy, on the Triple M Bosch Tools stats sheet. The Melbourne Storm at half-time against the Sharkies lead at 20-0. Similar pasting here at the moment, 51-9. Did not expect to arrive here and see Collingwood absolutely belt Richmond. That's what they're doing at the moment. They're going to go forward again. Cox is sliding inside 50. They're deep as well with Goey. Chain of hand pass just cut off. Rance almost a goal-saving touch. Now the Tigers come the other way.
Higgins, man in his first year, kicks it down the line. Good kick inside forward 50. Blostone takes the mark.
He's a big kick of the footy, Blostone. I would suggest he goes back. Don't worry about everybody leading. You need a goal. Your team needs a goal. Kick this one from 50.
Nick Blostone, this is a massive, massive moment for the Tigers. They need something to cheer about the Richmond Army. He's just kicked 25 goals in his 116-game career. Nick Blostone going to take a good effort from here. He'll kick it right on the line of 50. Punt road, and he shanked it badly. Barely snuck in for a minor score. 1-4-10 the Tigers. 8-3-51 the Pies. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Mason almost jogged down there to do a double mark, Howie, didn't he? He was a Collingwood player under mark and Mason just doubled up, which I liked, and I know that had an impact on the kick as well.
What was the role? Was Das called him the professional mark stander, ignored the 3 sausages he kicked for the term. He's given him the professional mark stand, the call, and he's taken it seriously. He goes across the line. How do they get back, Brownie? They trail by 41 points, the Tigs.
They've got to start doing it at the clearances, and Toby Nankervis is a big part of that. So is Trent Cochin, so is Dustin Martin. They've done it all year, but at the moment they're being beaten in every 50-50 contest. That needs to change. They need to get their hands on the footy first.
You just heard a standing ovation. That was Mason Cox coming off for a well-earned rest. Cochin's kick, not a great one. Dusty, can he inject himself? Got a little handball away to Higgins, to Grigg. Pops it to the goal line. A lot of Magpies back there, and they clean it up. Aish, he had some support from Langdon as well, and through for a minor score. So the Tigers go to 1-5-11. The Magpies 8-3-51. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard. Simply Energy powering up the AFL.
The Pies bring the ball back in towards Grundy. Belts it down. Now there's a chance for the Tigers inside 50, but it is all the Pies, seemingly all around the ground. This time it's Aish to Maynard, and get on that booming left foot, utilise it nicely down the line to Phillips, gets his man under the foot, he might run on it now. Tommy Phillips, if he can pick it up, he just sockles it forward towards Adams, who misses a similar attempt on the wing. Opens the doors for Cochin. Now a chance for the Tigers.
Long ball in the Caddy direction. He's looked right out of sorts. Josh Caddy Howe got in front. Wanted a little bit more, you'd have to say. Dusty now. Try to don't argue. They got hold of him. Greenwood's done a really good job. Langdon down there. Through came Lambert. Dusty's going on with him with Levi. It's right on there. Levi and Dusty. Yeah, we're going to have a throw up. The big Greenwood. In fact, it's Aish who's got hold of Dusty's jumper. And we're going to have a thrown up ball in attack for the Tigers. 51 plays, 11.
Good call on Caddy Das. He needs to lift.
The Monopoly game at Macca's is on now. Head in store and play today. Phillips, high ball. You heard the call, not 15. So the Tigers, they got problems. Stripped of the footy. Prestia turns it over. Hoskin Elliott, Chewy. Last time the Tigers kicked 1 goal in the half of a final, please, when you can, if ever.
1972 semi-final against the Blues, and it was actually a draw, the end result in that game, but 1972 the last time, Howie.
Did you know that off the top of your head?
I did, Howie.
Wow.
Very instinctual.
That is elite.
He's a finals performer, our two-man. Quick one from Nerily Meadows. What he's seen down the Nez?
Dylan Grimes came off. He's concerned about his head. I'm not sure if it was a poke in the eye or actual concussion as the ball goes out of bounds on the full, but the doctor is spending a bit of time with him.
Just thanks, Nez, for Bob Jane teammates. That kick again was a
brain fade. Straight
out of bounds on the full. Here come the Magpies again. Mihocek got Varco running forward. Sides is going to just hold on to it for a minute. 6 minutes until half-time. And it is a 40-point lead to the Magpies. Long ball in the Goey direction out the back. Hoskin Elliott flew for it. Tigers defence really nervous at the moment. Rance back there.
Aren't they nervous when the ball goes in quick dance? A couple of occasions this year we've seen it, but tonight they have been obliterated. Full credit to Collingwood. The way they've moved the footy with real pace by foot have given their forwards a chance one-on-one.
40-point lead to the Pies. Still 5 minutes to go before the major break. Main, they just got all the footy. Collingwood, Richmond can't get their hands on it. Chris for a second from on the paint of 50.
Whack.
Everything going right for Collingwood. This is extraordinary at the MCG. Crisp has 2. I can't believe I'm saying this, but approaching half-time, Richmond, they're on about the 8 count at this stage. Collingwood 9-3-57. Richmond 1-5-11. 46 points at the MCG on the Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard. Simply Energy powering up the AFL.
We've just got so much faith in this Richmond team, Nate Brown, that we've seen so dominant over the last 2 years. But how far further ahead do Collingwood need to get before it's out of Richmond's reach?
It's almost out of their reach right now because I can't see them the way they're playing. There's no intensity, there's no ball use, there's no tackle. Collingwood are just stepping through what defence Richmond do have, and when they get one-on-one in the defensive end, they look really ordinary at the moment. It's going to be a long way to come back. They need to kick a couple of goals before half-time to show any fight at all.
We are watching one of the great finals efforts from the Magpie team that had to go to Western Australia, had to knock off the dominant Giants and side bottom to Goey. What about that kick? Jordan to Goey. Too good for Rance. And this might be the goal that's just one too many. It's almost out of hand, Juddy.
It's getting very close, and Steele Sidebottom's first half has been absolutely electric. He's been a gun player for a long time, but he is elevating his game to a whole new level.
Ash, you'll have to tell us, has anybody ever come back in a final, in a preliminary final from this far down?
Geordie to go. He'll get that from the two-man shortly. 41-19 coming into this match. He's kicked 2 first-quarter goals. This to take it out beyond 50 points. Geordie to go didn't like it off the boot. And so a slight reprieve, but just a very, very slight one for the Tigers. 9-4-58 Collingwood, 1-5-11 Richmond. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Yeah, the greatest win from half-time was 44 points. And, of course, that was a 1970 grand final, Carlton v Collingwood.
Bombers came from a long way back at 1.2, didn't they, Chewis? Crisp goes inside.
42.
Another attack by the Pies. Mr. Goey held that.
Yep.
Umpire says he has. Rance can't believe it. Cannot believe it, but DeGoey said, mate, I've taken the mark and I'm going to have a shot from 15 out on a 15-degree angle.
Well, it's a brilliant mark, and if he didn't take the mark, I reckon Alex Rance had a hold of his arm for a little while. He could have almost got a free kick as well. And I reckon, like you mentioned, Duke, it's getting to that point. They get one more here. I think it's almost game.
DeGoey for his second, and Collingwood's Tej. Extraordinary scenes at the MCG. Collingwood 10-4-64. Richmond 1-5-11. 53 points. If it was any other side, you'd say done and dusted.
That's right, yeah. It's hard to say it because we know that Richmond never give win. We know they've been a dominant side over the last 2 years, and we know their fitness is such that they're going to come late. But right now, I can't see where the answers are coming from. And it's not science, it's not game plan. A lot of these forward 50 entries are just long, deep, high balls. They're too good, too strong at the minute in the air, Brownie.
What about Brodie Grundy's numbers? 29 hit-outs to 10 against Nankervis. 10 hit-outs to advantage. Nankervis hasn't had a hit-out to advantage yet tonight.
There you go. Nath Brown jumping up. The Super Special comments was Brodie Grundy again on cue. Got it straight down to Sire. Cochin trying, fighting to get away into this game. But all Collingwood, they wrap up Greg. They come from everywhere.
This is awesome performance by Collingwood.
Something out of the box, this one.
They've shell-shocked Richmond. Every time Richmond look around, they don't know what to do. They can't get that cohesion they've had all year, and it's purely from the way Collingwood have attacked them.
Sy got the initial handball out. Adams picked it up back to Sy. Just his 11th game. He's in a big prelim final. Varco forward to the footy. Grimes, everything the Tigers do, looks nervous at the moment. Conker, handball got there, but it wasn't great. Prestia now they get a little bit of space.
3.5 to go before the major break. Collingwood lead at 64-11. The Storm at half-time in the NRL preliminary final against the Sharks lead at 20-0. Inside 50 ball for the Tigers, a rare one. Goldsack gets a hand on it just enough. And Collingwood fans, they cheer even that as the ball goes across the line, 20 round from the Tigers' goals. Stu, give me some numbers to make some sense of this.
Well, these inside 50s, 35-18. Collingwood on track for 70, Howie. And you know what, Richmond could be on target for their lowest half-time score in a final since 1927. And funny enough, that was against Collingwood. They scored 4 points only.
Josh Caddy, full-chested through the stoppage, right forward pocket. He's going to take a miracle from there. He kicked it across the face and still sideboarded him. Talk about him, please, Truman.
16 disposals and 5 clearances.
Crisp, who's kicked a couple of goals, gets on the end of a nice lead.
He's had 13 in a couple of majors.
At the start, Chewy, Mason Cox with the first 3 goals of the term. Tell us about his night.
Yeah, 8 possessions, 6 marks, 3 contested and 3 goals zip.
Nankervis gets a rare possession, tries to chisel a ball to Rewalt. It's got too much on it. And he's just kicked it straight to Crisp, who's got it back flank.
Be interesting to see if Collingwood now go into their shells a little bit, Howie, and try and slow the game down. They've, of course, played really quick all night. It's worked so far. And may just try and take a bit of heat out of the game at this stage.
You just jumped in your car, Triple M footy. You're not going to believe 53-point lead to the Magpies. 2.5 minutes before half-time. The Tigers just the 1 goal. They've got the footy on centre wing. Dusty Martin popped the little handball out to Cochin. Out to Rance. This is more Tiger-like.
Oh.
He has nearly shanked the footy and had a fresh airy. Picked up by Grigg. Back to Rance. Rance runs to 50. Loads up. Long bomb to the goal square. Rewalt, did he get boot to ball? Umpire says off hands. And through for another minor score. The Tigers are 1-6-12. The Pies 10-4-64. Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Richmond love to play the same way every week. Now, Damien Harvey's got an option at half-time. I think he needs to almost change the way they play. It is all chips in here for the second half, Richmond. Does he change it enough that he can turn the course of this game?
It is going to be fascinating to see the Tigers' body language as they leave the MCG at half-time, Das. They are getting pummeled. They trail by 52 points. And their dream of back-to-back, it is close to being shattered here by the Pies, who have got the ball off half-back. Now there's an opportunity for the Tigers. Little sizzling ball, just bounces before Rewalt. He twists, tries to get away from Goldsack, who corrals him, goes back into the centre. Now there's an opportunity for the Tigers. Quick snap at goal. He's off target. That was off the boot of Lambert. And it's 1 behind, which is a result at the moment for the Tigers. They move to 13. Collingwood is 64. With a minute and a half to go before the half-time break, Nate.
Judge, I can't see with their current game plan they've had all year that they can peg this back in the second half. It's just too far gone now. So, as a coach, if you put yourself in that position right now, do you change up everything?
I think the thing Richmond do is they play up and down the same line. That's their preferred mode of attack. I think they need to come out in this second half, be really bold with switches and change angles as much as possible.
Just can't win the footy at the moment
No.
either. Oh, side bottom's handball chopped off by Dusty. Well played, Rioli. Can he get around one? Try to don't argue on Main. Got it back to Lambert. Under some pressure, Lambert flying shot. He's hit the post. 1-8-14. 10-4-64. 50-point lead. 53 seconds until half-time. The Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Nate, going into a half-time break as a Richmond player, can you actually still believe when you're 50 points down at half-time?
I think you can. This side can, just because of what they've done, what they've achieved and what they've done this year on this ground. So they would not think they're out of it, but I'll tell you what, it's going to take a miracle.
To come back from here, it'll be the game talked about forever. It'll be the preliminary final, but it's a long way off that at the moment. McIntosh, they've had a bit of the footy in recent times.
Oh, that
there's
helps.
a mark. That is a good mark
Higgins.
taken by Higgins. He's only a little man, but he's got a barrel chest and he takes it contested. Just something to give him going into half-time, Judge, if he can nail it from 20.
And it's the first time in this game I can remember where Richmond have had repeat forward 50 entries. Finally, the Collingwood defenders have been put under pressure, and the shot at goal's a result.
3-10 from set shots this season. Gee, hurries it, sneaks it home. Richmond's first goal since Jack Rewald kicked one in the first term, Chewy.
Yeah, spot on to Howie. Since in that first quarter, since the 14-minute mark.
Collingwood 10-4-64, Richmond 2-8-20. It is a 44-point margin on the Triple M Simply Energy scoreboard.
Nathan Buckley would be filthy with that goal 11 seconds before half-time.
He would indeed. A really good effort. Contested mark, particularly you'd be upset to see a forward pocket player take a contested mark almost unopposed, but that's how it's going to start. We know it's a team sport, but the wheel turns, momentum shifts by individual efforts, and Jack Higgins got one on the board there.
You would reckon Jack Higgins would be a short price favourite to get goal of the year with miracle effort against the Pies, I reckon it was.
Yep.
And he kicks a very important goal just seconds away from half-time, and maybe that will be something we talk about later in this match if the Tigers can do something special. Edwards applied a good tackle. Lambert out wide. Great Southern stand wing side. There is your half-time siren. And have we got something special here at the MCG? Damien Hardwick sucks in a big breath. I'm with you, Brownie. He's got to just reassemble the chessboard, come up with something special here.
Well, you can't win it the way they're playing at the moment. So, I mean, there's no tomorrow. So there's no harm in trying something different and try and get you back into this game in the third quarter. Then go back to your normal structure in the last.
Yep. Nath Brown, Chris Judd, the Triple M Super Special Comments team. We think Mason Cox is going to chat to Daisy Pearce, so we might hang around for a second, see if we can hear from him. Juddy, before you take a half-time break, what about Mason Cox?
Absolutely incredible, wasn't it? I thought he could have a big impact on this game, but no one could envision that he has turned this game on its head. Absolutely outstanding by the big American.
Kicked the first 3 goals of the second half, and we might take a little bit of Daisy Pearce. I think she's down talking to Jeremy Howe, who's heading off the ground. Let's have a listen.
In the last few weeks, we're told his role is to just contest and bring it to ground, but I guess you'll take it if he's going to clunk them.
100%. Look, Mason's clearly a key pillar for us to kick to, and if he's clunking them, that's a bonus, but he's bringing them to deck, bringing all the small guys into play.
And what about down back? It seemed early on when you were under a lot of pressure, there was a big focus on aggressive spoils, clearing the area. Was that part of the plan?
Yeah, definitely. Richmond are a team of momentum. They like soft drops, and they want to just keep the ball moving. If we can clear the area with big spoils, it takes the smalls out of the game.
Thanks, Jess. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks to Channel 7. Well done, Daisy. We're going to take our half-time break and hear more from Chris Judd, more from the Chew Man, Nath Brown. And Nerily Meadows is going to guide you through what has been one of the most remarkable first halves in a final in recent memory. The Magpies, 10-4-64, lead the Tigers 2-8-20 as thanks to McDonald's, Triple M Roxwood.
The boss, Bruce Springsteen, and there were calls of USA, USE going around this mighty stadium. Collingwood 10-4-64, Richmond 2-8-20. Collingwood by 44 points. Mason Cox has kicked 3. It'd be fair to say we were pretty excited listening back, but hard not to be unless you're a Richmond supporter, Judge.
It was incredible, and it was like it was happening in slow motion a lot of the time. He launched at the ball, and there was nothing Richmond can do. When a 211-centimetre man reaches the ball at the top point, very, very hard to stop.
If I was at home listening to Triple M, I'd be loving watching this on my brand new LG TV because, Judge, there is nothing better than showing your brand new LG TV to your mates, as you know.
Absolutely, and it's been awarded Australia's best TV brand choice for the past 3 years in a row, Howie.
Well, they're a magnificent audio-visual experience. The OLED, as you know, Brownie, you can experience the future of home entertainment from Australia's best TV brand.
Without a doubt, can't wait to get mine up on the wall. Head to lg.com and check out the latest range, including amazing OLED TV and Super UHD, and to find a store near you, Howie.
That's it. The stores are everywhere. Any good store has them. LG, life's good.
Oh, it is good.
Hey, Howie, as you know, we commentate here and amongst a lot of experts, and
yes,
you take the temperature room and you go out and have a bit of a drink and a coffee at half-time, and you try to find some support for the Tigers. None exists from anyone out there. There's no one out there saying, hey, I think there's a way back from here. Jack Higgins' late goal, back to 44 points. Two-man, it's going to take some sort of record, isn't it?
It would. So it'd be the equal greatest win of all time when trailing by 44 points in a final. So the last time that happened was the 1970 GF when Carlton defeated Collingwood.
Is that the famous handball game, two-man,
Yep,
where Brass said handball at all costs?
and Teddy Hopkins, of course. In the
Collingwood
second
would
half.
Collingwood would have to contribute to it, Duke. My fear would be that they'll get a bit nervous. They'll start thinking about next week, start playing a slow, safe game. They need to attack it like they did in that first half.
Well, I'm liking the Chemist Warehouse replay screen, Howie, and
Yes.
it's President Cam. They've got a split screen. You've got Peggy O'Neill on the left, and you've got Edward Maguire on the right. It's a bit of a contrast.
Very much so. One going off their chops, the other looking reasonably reserved. I'll let our listeners decide who was who.
I tell you who I would have grabbed by the jumper and just said, you need to give us something more than anyone on the ground. That's Toby Nankervis. He was obliterated by Brodie Grundy.
Yep.
He brings aggression, he brings competitiveness, but he didn't show any of it in the first half, Nankervis.
No, Grundy was incredible, along with Mason Cox and Sidebottom, probably the three best men on the ground.
I reckon he's the bloke your eyeball, Nankervis, and you say, got to get a start from you, got to give us first access to the footy. Let's get this second half underway. Here's Howie.
Collingwood leader by 44 points. The fans are dreaming to believe. The Tiger fans just hoping they can get a couple on the board to give themselves a chance. They get it out of the centre immediately from that man, Nankervis, to Castagna. Goes short, hits Revolt. So he's missed two set shots early doors. This time Jack Revolt from right on 50 directly in front, just to give themselves something to hang on to, the Tigers.
Well, just what you wanted, Duke. Nankervis with the first clearance, getting involved early.
What's he kicked tonight, Chew, Jack?
Yeah, 1 goal, 1, Howie.
Okay. He'll be looking to bang this through to kick his second. Right on the paint of 50, the professional mark stander. Mason Cox is there working it hard. Revolt, good looking kick. Collingwood think they've touched it on the line. Goal umpire disagrees, and Revolt is really getting amongst his teammates. Jack's got two. Perfect start for the Tigers, 3-8-26. Collingwood 10-4-64. Triple M Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles are pre-designed, complete bathroom packages from under $4,000.
Well, from a Richmond point of view, Damien Harbeck, if he had to have a perfect start to the second half, they just got it. Inside the first minute, a clearance and their main man up forward kicks a goal. All of a sudden, the Tiger Army just gets that roar that they haven't had tonight. Richmond got the last 6 inside 50s of that second quarter where Jack Higgins kicked the goal. Now they've got back-to-back inside 50s and back-to-back goals.
And I like the fact Brownie Dusty Martin's back in the centre bounce. Look at the Chemist Warehouse replay screen. And that will not be overturned. Grundy, Nankervis. Nankervis just a bit more of an edge about him. Grundy back in, fed the handball down to Levi Wood. Barrels one inside forward 50 to Goey. He's done a number on Alex Rance tonight.
He's just so quick across the ground, isn't he? He was gaining distance on Alex Rance with that ball that was put out in front, and this will really hurt the Tigers if Pies are able to get one straight back across the bow here.
Kicked a couple of goals in the qualifying final versus the West Coast Eagles over at Optus Stadium in Perth. Kicked 3 in the semi-final versus the GWS Giants. I thought he was almost the most dangerous player on the ground. He's already got a couple tonight, Jordan De Goey. And an opportunity. In fact, he's got 3 already. This is for number 4. And just missed to the near side. The Magpies 10-5-65. The Tigers are 3-8-26. Triple M Beaumont Tiles scoreboard.
Melbourne Storm 20, the Cronulla Sharks 0. Nearly 60 minutes into that preliminary final. So the Storm with 1 foot into yet another grand final. Grimes deep in the back pocket. Long ball down the line. Grundy is massaged and muscled away from the footy. Falls to Pendlebury. He's caught with a footy. You don't say that very often. Good tackle applied by Reece Conker. Advantage now taken back. So it was paid, then not paid, and then eventually Rioli was away, but the umpire says, nah, give it back to the man. He applied the original tackle, Reece Conker.
Almost a rugby union style ruling that, where they let the play go on for a while and determine the advantage. Back to Conker down the line. Over the head of Goldsack and a few others, but Langdon back there at half back for the Magpies to Maynard. He goes short, finds Tom Phillips. Sends this one down. Big Mason Cox. Look at the big man. Unplayable. You cannot get near him tonight. Superb mark again at half forward. Kick the 3 second quarter goals. Dumps it inside 50. Mihocek. To Goey out the back. There's the quick reply. And the Magpies have got 1 foot in a grand final. Jordan De Goey's got 4 goals.
For so much of this year, Juddy, their pressure up the field has been extraordinary. So they've been able to have that luxury of slow ball coming in. And that means that Alex Rance, Asprey, Grimes, they haven't really been tested at times. And then there's been a couple of games where you see them get opened up and one-on-one, they're human like anybody else. Again tonight, they haven't had that real heat in the midfield, which has exposed their defensive end, which has allowed these back-to-back goals and those easy goals that you never see Richmond get kicked against.
Damo's headline was all systems De Goey. He might be spot on, our man.
Prophetic.
Yeah, we won't tell him that.
Prophetic or pathetic? I'll leave our listeners to judge. The Monopoly game at Macca's is on now. Head in store and play today for McDonald's Triple M Rocks finals footy. It's once again a 45-point margin. Just can't see how the Tigers are going to claw their way back into this. Long time to go. They were only 5 minutes into the third term, and there's a holding free kick.
It's been big Taylor Adams as well, Howie.
Tough.
Yeah.
The former Giant, what's his numbers, Chew?
21 possessions, but 12 contested.
That is a big half of footy. He shorts it, finds Sire. He says, let's get it long.
It's put into Mason. It's not that complicated.
Well, he's down there, surely. That's the game
There he
plan. He goes to Mason Cox. He's got another one. It's just like rolling replay after replay. Collingwood drop it high and long, and Mason Cox takes a contested mark.
It's almost like the sucker punch. They all led to the left-hand pocket, and then they all doubled back, and Richmond were like going, where do they all go? And
like
he ran into a space.
This is like the Kangaroos kicking the Wayne Carey.
He's playing like a 7-foot Peter Hudson,
He is.
an American version. It's amazing.
Against Oz kickers. That's the way it looks at the moment. So Mason Cox will have a shot from 40. Oh, he's really shanked it. He's absolutely muffed that one.
Let yourself down, Mason.
And he sneaks it through for one behind the professional mark stand-up. Contested marks tonight, Chewy, for that man.
He's taken 5. His PB is 6.
Tigers go short to the back pocket. Nick Flostone sends this one down to Dusty Martin. He takes a good mark, Chairman. What's his numbers been, please?
He's only had 10 touches, Das.
Hasn't had his normal impact at all, Dusty. The Tigers to half forward. Coming out at it was Aish. Out the back, Edwards. He's had a pretty quiet night for mine as well. That's a good-looking kick to Riewoldt. Beautiful ball. Jack Riewoldt, chance to kick his third goal of the night.
Still not out of it. I mean, they're moving the ball okay, and every time they haven't had inside forward 50 line, only the 25 times, but on those occasions, Riewoldt has looked dangerous tonight.
So Jack Riewoldt, All-Australian full forward in 2018. Had an extraordinary year.
Mason Cox on the mark again.
He's a professional mark stander.
He's an All-Australian mark taker.
That is what he does.
Best of all time.
He's saved goals, he's kicked goals. And Jack Riewoldt, he liked it off the boot, so Jack kicks his third goal. Just keeps the door alive. The door open, it's 4-8-32 the Tigers, 11-6-72 the Magpies. And that's on the Triple M Beaumont Tile scoreboard.
Well, if they have to have a chance of winning this game, they have to come out and have a big first 15 minutes of this quarter, Brownie. And Jack Riewoldt's been the one who's really stepped up so far. 2 goals already. Shane Edwards was the one that kicked the ball into him in that forward 50 pass, and he's a really important player for Richmond who is well down in this first half. So Nan Curvis have lifted. Edwards getting his hands on the ball. Jack Riewolddt getting involved. The signs are good that Richmond are at least going to close this gap.
Yeah, and Edwards only 7 touches, so that was only his 3rd touch inside the last 59 minutes of play for Bosch Tools.
That's your Triple M Bosch Tools stats with the two man. You got Nez on the boundary for Bob Jane T-Marts, the tyre and wheel specialist, and you got Juddy and Brownie in the back row on a Friday night where Collingwood lead it by 40 points. And 7.5 minutes into the third term. Riewoldt's got 2 for the quarter to Goey. Kicked his 4th goal. The only goal for the Tigers this term. Again, they go inside the Pies towards Cox. He can't take the mark this time, but he brings it to ground. Short, hooks one round the corner nicely. This is better from the Tigers. They send the ball down the wing to Castagna on the lead, who marks in front of Maynard.
Caddy provides an option straight down the line. Georgie Castagna sends it further to Riewoldt. Good flight, the footy. Dusty, a little don't argue. Handed it back to Presti, who's immediately tackled by Phillips. And the umpire's whistle says blow it up.
The thing with the playing catch-up footy, there's zero margin for error. Yeah. I mean, Collingwood, you don't want them to score for the rest of the game to get back the 40 points. They're in front. One mistake can cost them the game from now.
Prestia bustles through a pack. Attacked inside 50, but only as far as Maynard. The numbers for Josh Caddy tonight. Chewy's had a wonderful season.
5 disposals and scoreless. He's kicked 46 majors this year.
Whenever Chew delivers a stat with a little at the start of it, you know,
it's
a pretty definite one.
Real sort of...
This man, still side bottom, has been extraordinary this entire final series, but particularly tonight, Two-Man, he's
21 touches, Das, along with 5 clearances.
And the Tigers, we know, don't like to tag players, but still side bottom. Has he benefited from that? Chris Mayne's taking running bounce at half back. Goes back to Goldsack now. A bit of pressure applied. Good enough to get it back to Mayne. They try and trap it in. They handle their way out the Magpies. They're through. Taylor Adams can take a bounce.
In towards De Goey, gets off his man again. It drops just short of him. It was Grimes who had the job at that stage. Rance came to lend a hand at ground level. Now the Tigers are under pressure. Wonderful tackle on the outer side. Graham was run down with the footy. The Tigers just trying to hack it and push it forward any way they can. Falls towards Edwards, clean bowls him now. Howe working on his defensive area. Revolt, clever little hand pass. Prestia caught with the footy by Phillips. Main to the rescue for the Pies. Steele side bottom, good man in the crisis. And in the end, Jeremy Howe, the man from Dodgers Ferry, bangs it down the middle of the G only as far as Rance.
Typical classic Alex Rance marked that one, got back with a flight. Now lost home. He just kicks an absolute sack inside 50. Edwards, good contest. The Tigers are playing better footy at the moment. Caddy hasn't been sighted, as Truman told you. To the goal square, Dusty! Wow. Is it there, Juddy?
I think it was there, Duke. I haven't checked the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay, but instinctively I thought he did push him in the back and thought it was a good call by the umpire.
We'll have a look at that one shortly on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. Chemist Warehouse, home to big savings every day as Mason Cox takes another contested mark off half-back two.
Number 6, equal PB for him.
They are huge numbers. Drives a low drop punt down the wing. Cut off by the Tigers. Gee, they're under pressure every time they get the footy though. And they managed through a chain of hand pass to get it to Rance. Now Vlostone. He's being hunted by Treloar. Loops a long hand pass. Grigg. They made a bit of a mess of this. They're really having to work hard to get it forward, but they do. Nice kick, Conker.
Really good kick from Conker. Presta goes short. Wanted Caddy, and he did well. Really clever mark by Caddy. Hands it off to Bashahul. He runs to 50. Sends it towards the goal square. Didn't make good connection with it. Off hands. And through for a minor score. 11-6-72 Collingwood. 4-9-33 the Tigers. Triple M Beaumont tail scoreboard.
Storm lead the Sharks 22-0, 66.5 into that game in the first preliminary final. Tomorrow I think it's the Roosters and the Rabbits, is it, Brownie, in the NRL?
Yep.
I wouldn't say that with great confidence, but I think we've got it right. The ball comes towards the wing, there's a push. And it goes the way of Brodie Grundy. It is the Roosters and Rabbits tomorrow. So the Melbourne Storm looking pretty good there, 22-zip. As Grundy goes inboard to Treloar. He's going to go across.
Probably the first time all night the game has been played in Richmond's half of the ground. They've had a little bit of control, but right now not putting on the scoreboard. Still 4 goals, 9 is poor kicking.
Chris Mayne goes laterally. Great southern stand wing side. Out there was Age. And now side bottom just owns his own footy out there tonight. Still side bottom. Chance for Stevenson. Slightly built, but clever and fast. He gained possession, was wrapped up, and the bench umpire says, I'll throw it up. In attack for the Magpies. They're at the punt road end. They lead it 72-33. Triple M Beaumont style scoreboard.
Umpire is just organising the ruck contest. He does that now. Pendlebury had a crack in the ruck. Down towards side bottom. Numbers 2 for Steele.
23 disposals and going at 80% by foot.
Tough to pick out the best man on the ground, whether it's side bottom to Goey, Mason Cox, Brodie Grundy at the moment. Those 4 players have been stars tonight.
So the ball moved down towards the wing. It's punching around there, just staying in. Now the umpire says there's a free kick. In fact, he said it's across the line. So Scotty Pendlebury saying that's okay, because my team lead at 72-33 with the ball tossed in out of wing.
Good story on the back page of the Age today, Howie. Craig Bellamy, the coach of the Storm, went down to the Magpies this week, gave an inspirational address. He's having a good time of it, Craig Bellamy. Storm are dominating 22-0, and he's inspired the Magpies to something amazing here at the MCG. 11-6-72. Tigers 4-9-33. We've played 13.5 minutes into the third quarter.
And won't he be getting his balls busted next September by Melbourne clubs that are in the finals?
They are an unbelievable sporting franchise, the Melbourne Storm, seeming on their way to another grand final. They do it with such a different variety of players every year. Umpire calls play on, picked out a free kick.
Sharks have just scored a try in that game, Howie.
Thanks, Brownie. So a little door opening for the Cronulla lads, and a free kick to Alex Rance, who goes immediately back across goal.
They're starting to move the ball nicely, the Sharks.
Thanks, Ray Warren, in the back row. As Bashahul goes short. Back to Rance. And Grimes. We were working on Dead Set Legends with Brownie on radio, and we were trying to get a NRL guest on preliminary final weekend, and he came back and said, I was having a nice chat to this old grey-haired bloke who was in there making tea. Turns out it was Ray Warren Brown, who didn't know and didn't ask him to come on the show.
Halfback.
True story, Nate?
Jack
That's a true story.
has got it. The Tigers trying to find something here. Cameron McIntosh can't keep it in. And it will be thrown in. You just have a look at the Magpie fans out there. They are just on the edge of their seat. They can't believe that their side that last year was going to sack their coach. They were going to have wholesale changes. What a 12 months, and they are just, you feel, right on the edge of a grand final berth. Not done yet. Basher Hooley's got it.
No, they're not. They've improved the Tigers in this third quarter. A couple of goals would make it very interesting.
Long ball in the Rewalt direction. Split the pack open, but falls out the back to Crisp. Slick handball. Side bottom to Main.
To Varco, who started the game wonderfully well, Chew.
Varco, yes. Only 6 possessions, 1 major.
I reckon he had the majority of those in the first 15 minutes. Hoskin Elliott. It's not Hoskin Elliott, in fact. It's Josh Thomas. Slides one inside 50 on the right, not his best effort, and it crosses the line in front of Jordan Goey, who's got 4. Mason Cox has got 3, and the two-man's got it all.
Yeah, Chris, he's the number 1 ranked player. He's had 22 disposals and kicked 2 majors. He's played on 10 opponents, and collectively they've only had 13 for the game.
I know they're not trying to save the game at this point in Collingwood, but they've soaked up a lot of time, probably at least 9 minutes since the last goal was kicked.
Oh, superbly done. Grundy Juddy's all over it to the captain, Penderbury, bends one to the goal square. Grimes has got the match up onto Goey. Mihocek picked it up, and Brodie Mihocek, the Magpies are just about home. You can almost call it now. Brodie Mihocek has got his second. Collingwood go to 12-6-78. The Tigers 4-9-33. And I tell you what, 45-point lead, but a long, long way back from here, Nate Brown.
Yeah, it certainly is. And when you're playing catch-up footy, one mistake, and that mistake was from Asprey. He went up and he just went to ground. He lost his feet. And when you're playing on dangerous mobile forwards, Juddy, you just can't lose your feet. That's exactly what Asprey did. I haven't seen him do that all year. All of a sudden, they're losing their feet all over the place in this preliminary final. And it's cost them at least 3 goals tonight, Richmond, by just losing their feet.
Scores from stoppages, Duke, 6-5-41 Collingwood, 1-1-7 Richmond. That just shows how dominant Brodie Grundy's been tonight.
The McDonald's Triple M Rocks football, 78-33 on the Triple M Beaumont Tiles scoreboard. Beaumont Tiles have pre-designed complete bathroom packages for under $4,000. Bashar Hooley continues to work hard. Long ball forward. Punched away from Lambert. Now McIntosh to Rioli. Wasn't really sighted in the second term. He's dragged down from behind by Aish. And that is a feat in itself, tackling Daniel Rioli with a footy. And Aish gets rewarded, gives it to Howe. It's cut off by McIntosh. Boundary line's a winner.
Their ability to tackle Richmond when Richmond have been on the fast break with a quick handball, normally they'd get out. On that occasion, the handball was good to Rioli, but Aish was just, he was alert. He knew what was happening. He was able to run him down.
45-point lead of the Magpies. 8 minutes remaining until three-quarter time. Extraordinary effort this has been. Here comes Cochin. Got it back to Greg. Spirals one in the Rewalt direction. Oh, great courageous effort. Langdon, that is a beautiful mark. Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Superb, courageous, and really skillful too, Juddy.
It was. Just kept his eyes on the ball. Knew the traffic was coming but didn't deviate. Incredibly brave.
You're still believing, Brownie, if you're a Richmond player? I asked you that at half-time.
Oh, that goal from Mihocek just sucked the life out of him.
Treloar works hard at ground level. It's punched out of his hands. Richmond hustling forward, but it's across the boundary line where we found Bob Jane T-Mart style tyre and wheel specialist. Nerily Meadows, Nez.
Jordan De Goey just coming to the bench. He's actually been pulled off by the physio who wants to have a chat with him. The trainer went and spoke to him, and the trainer then came and passed the message on. And as I speak, the physio is taking Jordan De Goey into the rooms with the doctor. Now, we saw him spend a bit of time off the ground last week as well. One to keep an eye on.
Yeah, thanks, Nez. That will be a big story, I think, regardless of where this game ends up. Penderbury through the middle of the ground. Rance in the way. Juggling attempt from Alex Rance. He hasn't had it all his way tonight. He's had a couple of times where he's been beaten one-on-one by De Goey, Brownie.
Yeah, he's lowered his colours tonight, Alex Rand, so far. Jordan De Goey, 4 goals, has written his name into a grand final, I reckon.
Main back there at half-back. So many great stories. All of a sudden you're thinking of the Magpies. Chris Main 12 months ago was, I wouldn't say laughing stock, but there was a lot of suggestions about that trade being a massive bust for the Magpies. Now he's playing himself into a grand final, you think?
Yeah, his old man sent some pretty interesting tweets about the coach, Nathan Buckley, and as you say, in a week's time, he might be here on grand final day. They've still got a bit of work to do, though. Defending hard is Chris Mayne. Collingwood trying everything they can to get it out of their defensive 50. Richmond come again. Smothered kick. I reckon the umpire might have to separate them here to get it out, and he will. 20 out from the Tigers' goal, 78-33. Brodie Mihocek playing for Port Melbourne last year in the VFL. There's a lot of good stories, Das, and they'll all be written this week.
78 plays 33. It's a dominant Magpies out there, and they're showing no sign of letting up at all. This footy's deep inside attack for the Tigers, and Josh Caddy, he's had a forgettable night, kicks that one out of bounds on the full. Damien Harvick, Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay screen. He's just got that look in his eyes of not tonight, surely.
Contested marks 14-6, Duke.
Chemist Warehouse, home to big savings every day. Nathan Brown and Chris Judd on the Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super with insurance that protect building construction workers. Howe, cross half back. He's got men on the outer side. It's a long ball to side bottom. Chewy.
26 touches.
Is that the most?
Leading ball winner on the ground.
Who's got the most for the Tigres?
Prestia with 16, but 43% by foot.
And pass to Howe, puts him under pressure. Rioli just gobbles him up.
Oh, he's hurt himself too, I think.
He's not happy with the hand pass he received. We've got a bit of a cork there, Jay Howe. And Rioli has now got it on the outer wing.
Just grabbing a bit of a hammy out there maybe too. Juddy will get narrowly to keep an eye on Jeremy Howe. He's showing any sign of coming off the ground. We'll hope that is all okay. Here's Pendlebury. Got dispossessed. Rewalt did pretty well. Slapped it back, but there is a superstar in still side bottom, and he is a superstar. Make no mistake about that. Crisp kick across the face of goal. Grigg first back in the race, but Phillips, who is an aerobic animal, ran him down and tackled him over the boundary line. Boundary throw and 60 around from the Tigers' city end goal.
I'd love to see his case tonight, Tom Phillips, Dukes. I've been watching him closely. I don't think anyone would have run nearly as far as him tonight.
There's Jeremy Howe, looks okay. He spent a long time out of the game. Was that with a corky?
It was with a corky that he needed a procedure on to get it drained, so it needed a surgical procedure, but he's staying out there at the moment. He looks sore, though.
Nice work, Nez. On the job as always down there, Narrowly Meadows. Bob Jane T-Marts. Phillips goes short to Adams, who's had a big night, Chewy.
He has 25 and 2 majors.
Yeah, he's really played a good game. His kick here was cut off by Reece Conker. But the time continues to tick, and Richmond aren't making inroads. They trailed by 23 at quarter time, 44 at the half, and they currently trail by 45 points. The Storm lead 22-6. With about 4.5 minutes to go there, and the ball in the hands of Billy Slater. So I'm penciling the Storm in, Chewy.
Looks good, Howie, for Bosch Tools.
Brave call that one, Howie. Extraordinary prediction as Pendlebury sends the handball afield. Chopped off though by Flostone. Cotchin tried hard. Cotchin without a lot of support to Graham. Kick with a one-on-one. Goldsack. Rewalt got him. Spills out to Caddy. Can he bend it back? Chips it back inboard, and Basher Hooley within range can kick a very important and must-needed goal here for the Tigers.
It was one of those ones we spoke about, Brandon. We wanted Richmond to change angles, and we saw when they did that there was a huge amount of space for Jack Riewoldt on the far side in their forward 50. So keen to see more of that from the Tigers.
Simply just has to kick this goal. There's no doubt about it. He was the runner-up in last year's Norm Smith medal count. Has to get it. Basher Hawley leant back on it. Up and under job to the goal line. I reckon it might have drifted home, and has. And so the Tigers are in front this quarter with that goal from Hawley. Still a little bit of life yet. 3 minutes 42 seconds until 3/4 time. 78 plays 39. Let's get down to Nez.
Jordan De Goey has just appeared from the rooms. He spent the last 4.5 minutes down there getting treatment from the doctor and the physio. They're just doing some work at the moment on his hammies as well. He did spend some time in the rooms last week as well. Before that, we know that he had those stress fracture issues or signs of early stress fractures in his leg. So he's got a few niggles, does Jordan De Goey. I wonder whether they wrap him up in cotton wool if the Pies get any further ahead. And Jeremy Howe's just come off as well, boys. Sorry to interrupt. Just getting some treatment at the moment. He doesn't look too happy, and he's now going into the rooms with the doctor as well. He's got a heavy limp up, boys. Let's hope he is okay if they make it through to the grand final.
Good point Nez makes about maybe taking Jordan De Goey off.
Pies move the ball inside 50. Stevenson, rising star, whippy hand pass. G's got some toe. Pendlebury back out towards Stevenson to Varco, who started the game on fire, down towards Mason Cox. I don't know if anyone got a touch on it. They did. One behind, nicely signalled by the goal umpire. So Howe's got a real limp up, Nez, with the score at 79-39.
Yeah, and he looked pretty sad as he went into the rooms as well. Let's hope it's not soft tissue and it is a cork, even though he had that serious cork that ruled him out for about a month at the end of the season as well.
It's been pretty good Greenwood tonight, hasn't he, taking that mark?
Yeah, he's done the job on Dusty Martin.
Not everyone's come. I'll just make a prediction in a second, Duke.
Kick down the line to Mason Cox. I'm told that Levi Greenwood and Dusty Martin are best mates. We're looking forward to Juddy's prediction. Thanks for just teasing that one, man.
Juddy's predicting that he's going to make a prediction.
Yeah.
Really priffy.
Asprey's took a good mark, handed it off to Dusty Martin. Out the back, Rewalt's going to take this, I reckon. Going back, Goldsack and Jack, who has got 3 goals, can make it 4 with 2:35 remaining until three-quarter time. Time for your prediction now, Judd.
Well, I just think Jeremy Howe, a lot of media personalities aren't comfortable veering into the medical space, but I'm not one of them, Duke. Jeremy Howe, I'd be nervous about his ankle. Okay? Just think he might have tweaked his ankle, and that's what I'd be looking at if I was the doctor down there.
Just wandered straight into territory that you wouldn't think he has got any expertise in there, the Judd man. Jack Rewalt in the meantime, no problems with that. It was straight through the middle. Jack's got 4 goals. And the Tigers just breathe a little bit of life into this contest. 34-point lead to the Magpies. Dribbling Beaumont Tile scoreboard.
Clearly been their best quarter, this one, Richmond. They've had 60% of the ball inside their forward half of the ground, which they didn't have in the first half. 4 goals, 1 they've kicked to 2 goals, 3 in this quarter. There's only about half a minute or a minute to go. Another goal they'd love, but it's going to be a long way back at three-quarter time, but they have given themselves a pulse, Stars. It's a very faint pulse at this stage.
We know the last couple of times they played Collingwood, scores were level going into the last quarter, and they ended up winning by about 40 points both times, didn't they? So they can get goals on the board late against this club.
Would you recommend dry needling for Jeremy Howe's ankle, Judge?
Not yet. We just wait and see. But,
Richmond inside 50 again. Cochin goes long. Rewalt, was he held? There's an attempt to snap one right on the line. What's the umpire saying here?
Judge needs to make a call here.
No, I think that was a point.
I believe it's a behind. Just have to check the ball was kicked over the goal line. Score review. Umpire's call was touched behind. Please check that it wasn't kicked over.
It was Higgins trying to get the ball on the boot. He got it down very quick, but I reckon he did miss it. There's fireworks, which I reckon means the Storm's won. This is the Triple M Coach High score review. What's happening at the Melbourne Storm around the grounds, Chewy?
Storm 22 have defeated the Sharks 6. Howie full time.
So they're through to another grand final to play the winner of the Roosters and the Rabbits.
Hey, Howie, this is going to be an interesting score review because the umpire wanted to check that it was over the line. So does he think that there was a nick on that ball? It's going to be hard to overturn it, Judd, man. This is your department.
No, we're sticking with the behind.
It's called a behind.
The fireworks of the Melbourne Storm. Score review pending. It's a behind. Collingwood 12-7, 79. Higgins tried the miracle goal. He's done 1 this year. Richmond 6-10, 46.
Minute 46 remaining until three-quarter time. Another goal for the Tigers would be very, very handy. Nankervis squeezes it forward. Picked up by Taylor Adams has been good. McIntosh, Nankervis wrapped up in a Phillips tackle. And it'll be thrown in 60 around from the City end goal. That's where the Tigers are attacking the Melbourne Storm. If you just joined us, 22-6 winners. They go through to next Sunday's grand final in the NRL. And we've got just over a quarter remaining. Minute 32, in fact, in this third quarter. Cochin back to Grigg. Tumbles one inside 50. Rewalt's dangerous. Castagna slapped it forward. Picked up by Aish. Immediately tackled by Edwards. And the umpire says we'll throw it up.
It's especially interesting, Duke, when you think Howe may be injured, De Goey may be a little bit sore, and Richmond are going to be fresh having played less footy.
So Juddy painting a picture. There's some chance for the Tigers. And they're pushing hard in attack here. Adams, well, that was lucky. Just belted it out of defence, landed straight in the hands of Sear. Now to Phillips. Sends one down the line. Mihocek can't take the mark. The Tigers come again through Vlostone. Takes on Mason Cox. Somehow gets out of a tackle. And the ball goes across the line and will be tossed in. There'll be a question about Darcy Moore this week posed, Brownie, if the Pies get through.
Well, they'd have to be. If Jeremy Howe has a bit of an issue, Darcy Moore certainly comes into contention.
Boundary throw in right in front of Early Meadows down there on the members' wing. Can the Tigers get a late one? They're a chance. Cochin. Oh, the kick was bad. He wanted Revolt. Missed the target. Langdon back there at half-back. Good defensive mark.
Adams with another one, Chewy.
This will be disposal number 30 and 5 clearances.
What's Steely's side bottom on?
He's on 27, Howie.
Treloar's telling him to get it down deep as quickly as they can. There's 29 seconds on the clock to Grundy. Marks in front of Nankervis. How you seen the ruck battle, Das?
Brody Grundy has absolutely dominated Howie in every aspect of the game.
Might be right about that. 60-metre ball down the line to Mason Cox. Provided the Shepherd this time. Tried to get Mihocek in with the contest. Stevenson off the ground. Now Thomas arrives. Quickly gets it. Josh Thomas. Ducks, dives, gets out of a tackle. Short under pressure. And Collingwood, they're not there, but gee, they're close. They led by 44 points at halftime. The margin now 33 points after Jack Revolt kicked 3 goals for the term. He's got 4, De Goey's got 4, Cox got 3 all in a row in an extraordinary 15 minutes in the second term. 3-quarter time, grand final up for grabs. Collingwood 12-7-79, Richmond 16-46. The Pies by 33 points. The Tigers need to do everything right in the next 35 minutes. McDonald's, Triple M Rocks, finals footy. Collingwood by 23 points at quarter time, 44 at the half. But Richmond turned it around slightly thanks to Jack Rewalt's 3 goals for the term. They kick 4 goals to 2. And Collingwood now lead it by 33 points at 3-quarter time, 12-7-79 to Richmond 6-10-46. Triple M Bosch Tool Stats, Bosch Power Tools and Accessories. Good, better, Bosch. Chewy, give me one.
Well, it'd have to be history in the making for the Tigers because no team has ever won a final when trailing by 33 points at 3-quarter time. The previous best, well, the best is 28 points. That was Carlton against Collingwood all the way back in 1945.
Nice work, Chewy. Bob Jane T-Mart's tyre and wheel specialist. Now, these are big, big moments for you and the Collingwood boys down there in Early Meadows.
Yeah, Jeremy Howe has only just re-emerged from the rooms. He went down in the 24-minute mark of that third quarter. Now, the doctors had a quick chat with Nathan Buckley. At the moment, Howe's getting his right hamstring worked on just on the bench. He look, if they're working on it, then they're hoping that he's going to come back out there. So they certainly haven't put a line through him yet, which is relatively good news, I suppose, at this stage. But he doesn't look all that happy either.
All right, thanks, Nez. The Melbourne Storm won at 22-6 to advance to a grand final over the Sharks. Triple M Seabar Super special comments. Seabar Super with insurance to protect building construction workers. Anything for the Tigers, Judge?
Well, that was their best quarter they've had so far in the first quarter that they've won, but there's only so much they can do from here. It's going to be very hard to see how they can get back from this position that they find themselves in. They're going to have to change angles. They're going to have to be bold, Nate Brown, and they're going to have to start this quarter on absolute fire.
Yeah, the Asprey fall over hurt them when Brodie Mihocek kicked that goal. If it was under 5 goals, he'd give them a chance, but there's just no margin for error at the moment. Collingwood have been too good. I expect them to win this comfortably now.
How, Nez?
Yeah, the doctors are just having a big conference at the moment. He's just done a run through. He doesn't look all that comfortable, but finished by saying, I'm okay. They're doing some more work at the moment.
For McDonald's, Triple M Rocks finals footy. Richmond 46, Collingwood 79. And the Tigers need to get a move on early. Nankervis gives them the opportunity. They drive a ball forward, but Goldsack, a man that in the pre-season absolutely stuffed his knee, well, he might feature in the final game of the year and puts it out to Steel side bottom.
Going to be one of the great stories, Howie. Tyson Goldsack, if the Pies can hang on, they have got a 33-point lead to enjoy. The start of this last quarter, side bottom, magnificent game. Down the line to Mihocek. Can the Tigers get involved here? Grigg picks it up, dumps it long. We've got a 2-on-2 down there. One of them's Jack Revolt. Got rid of Goldsack. Oh, what a mark. He had to pay it. And they have paid the mark. The Pies were away. It was a late whistle. But I thought that was a mark every day of the week, Judd, man.
Absolutely. He controlled the ball. He held it for long enough. An incredibly courageous effort running back with the flight. Kept his eyes on the ball. Brilliant mark.
Yeah, really high degree of difficulty that. Just pirouetting back with the flight, as Juddy described. And Jack Revolt, who's played a bit of a lone hand up there. He's got 4 goals. And he's a bit slow to get up. He only might have banged his head on the MCG turf. He's up and he's ready to shoot for goal number 5.
He's playing some game, Das. Everything we've been talking about Collingwood, he's lining up for 5 in a prelim.
Very limited supply too, Howie. Richmond 10 marks inside their forward 50. Revolt with 7 of them.
It's around this time last year, he was on stage with the Killers, belting out a tune. Just had a little look up the scoreboard, Jack Riewoldt. So for goal number 5, and this gets interesting from here. If he can kick it, Jack Riewoldt's got 5, and the Tiger Army finally get a bit of voice. We get it back to a margin of 27 points. 12-7-79, plays 7-10-52. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard.
Continue to hang in there, don't they? And they've kicked the first goal of the third quarter, now the first goal of the last quarter. Give themselves a chance. They would believe. They'll continue to believe because they've been good enough this year, and they'll know the stats against Collingwood in the last quarters both times this year. I reckon it would have been spoken about at three-quarter time.
Yeah, they've outscored it by 56 points in final quarters from their last 2, the Tigers. But Jack Riewoldt, 607 majors, equal with Michael Roach. So he's equal 4th on the all-time goal-kicking list for the Tigers.
Nice, Chewy. Bob Jane T. Martinez.
Howe and the medical staff on the Pies bench seem to be happy for him to go back out there. Dr. Judd, you get no points, nothing to do with his ankle.
Fair call.
There you go. Slapped by Nerily Meadows, and it's fair enough to Nez. Wandered into your area, and you taught him that he shouldn't be doing that. Now the Tigers, and finally the Tiger fans get up. Cochin shanks it, but the Tigers should pick up the ball. They do. By Asprey. He's spending some time forward, possibly. He's in a bit of trouble now because he falls over. Not the first Tiger to do that tonight.
It's not
Treloar
his first time either.
picks his pocket. Down the line, big fist away, into the crowd right near Nerily Meadows.
One thing you can't have an excuse for is falling over on a footy field. Without being anywhere near the footy and falling over, you wonder what sort of footwear they've got on or what they're doing, because you should not be falling over on a perfect night like tonight.
Yeah, and you're right, Brownie and Howie, in that the Tigers have been the ones that have slipped over tonight. Here comes Prestia, high up and under job to half forward. Castagna gave a good contest. Front and centre, first take was by Josh Thomas. Tigers have got a little bit of the footy here. Another up and under ball from Jack Graham. Sent half forward for Richmond. Picked up again. Hack forward, Castagna. It's going to fall into the lap. Oh, dropped it, Lambert. It was his mark. Can't believe that Langdon got involved. Lambert back there. Langdon, they don't argue. The Pies at half back are going to clear. And an opportunity goes begging. In fact, the kick's been partially smothered off hands. And it will be thrown in 70 metres around from the Tigers' goal.
It's been good, Tom Langdon. He was caught behind there. Have a look at it on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. Not sure how that spilt the ground, Judge.
Nah, very unlike Kane Lambert. Had a brilliant year and usually very clean with his hands.
So it is a 27-point margin. Foregone final term. Collingwood are in front. Have been ever since Goey kicked the first of the game and Varco the second. Now ball to be won in the air on the wing. Big spoil from behind by the Tigers. Falls to Edwards, belts it forward. Only as far as Chris Mayne. Chew.
Chris Mayne for Bosch Tools, 15 disposals and 4 marks.
It's a good evening.
Got it at half-back, Chris Mayne, former Fremantle Docker. Couldn't get a game last year in his first year at the Magpies. That one's hung in the air a little bit. Greenwood, well done, Jack Riewoldt. Superb effort. They pile in on top of him at centre forward, but he's trapped it inside forward 50.
It's been good, Riewoldt, hasn't he?
And Juddy and Brownie just sensing that the Tigers have got a little bit going their way at the moment.
They're all in, aren't they? They're taking risks. The defensive pressure's gone up at Cog. They're not going to leave anything on the table in this first 10 minutes.
They need to hit the scoreboard again, you reckon, in the next couple of minutes.
Comes back to Nankervis again. Needs to make a statement, Nankervis.
Gets it down towards Martin. Haven't called his name much, Chew.
Dusty Martin, he's only had 17 touches.
And he's been dominant in his last finals.
Four finals, averaging 27, Howe, in 7 clearances.
Okay. He's starting to come into the game. Greenwood's winning at the moment. Now Lambert gets an opportunity on the right foot. Down, long, Asprey, we said he went forward, had 3-4 bites of the cherry, and it's punched out of his hands, and it's across the line, 2 around from the Tigers' goals.
Look at this situation. You think how Collingwood have to defend, but boy, if they can get a goal or two themselves, that's what's going to put this game out of Richmond's reach.
27-point margin. Edwards tracking the boundary line. Can't keep it in. Boundary thrown again. Repeat time inside forward 50 for the Tigers. They kick the next goal, and you just think that maybe they can do the impossible, the Tigers. Next goal in this game is massive. Grundy and Asprey. Grundy too good. Been too good all night. Got it beautifully down to Pendlebury. Kick down the line, and Curvis and Cox. Big Mason handballs it forward. Broad's going to win it. Hands it back to Grimes.
Rance has got a decision. He goes by hand to short. 20-metre handball to Hawley. Back inboard to Rance. This is a better build-up from the Tigers. They look to slide the ball low inside 50. Drops in front of Edwards to Martin. Can he do something? Adams corrals him. Treloar clean bowled. Hawley off the ground. Down towards Castagna. Now running onto it is Higgins to Rewalt. There's a free kick going the way. Higgins. Have a listen to the Tiger Army now. Higgins, who's been a bit edgy in front of goal, Chewy, with set shots this season, will have a shot from 20.
Howie, something's happening here at the moment. It is just starting to brew a little bit.
4 goals, 10 Higgins from set shots, Howie.
All right, his last one he kicked from a similar spot. He just hurried it. He's not messing around here. Higgins, he's kicked it. Are the Tigers marching back? First 2 of the term. Buckley turned for the first time. Collingwood 12-7-79. Richmond 8-10-58. 21-point margin. Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. Stock up for the footy season at IJ Liquor. Head to ijliquor.com.au to find your nearest store. They couldn't, could they?
What they have done now, Judge, is kicked 7 of the last 9 goals. And in this last quarter, 93% inside their forward 50. So they're giving themselves a chance and asking the question of Collingwood now.
Have a listen to the Tiger Army. 21 points. It's a delicate stage of the game. Eddie Maguire just looking down at the record. There's some nervous Collingwood fans all of a sudden. Plenty of time. Only played 8 minutes in the final quarter. Here comes Nankervis. Grundy over the top of him. Edged off it. Prestia did really well. Ricochet back to Dion Prestia. Shins it forward. Running onto it now, Grigg. Tracking him, Thomas. Crisp gets back. He's been really solid. Caddy's there as well. They surge it to half forward. Chris Mayne ran into a brick wall. Rioli got it. And the free kick's going the way of Mayne. Tigers were inside 50 again, but Mayne will get it at halfback.
That tackle pressure from Richmond that they've been famous for looks back, Duke. They're putting Collingwood under pressure. Interesting to see how the Pies respond.
Collingwood led up by 53 points at the 22nd minute mark of the second quarter. It has shrunk quite dramatically now. It was 33 at three-quarter time. And they've chipped off in the first 9 minutes, another 2 goals. So it's back to 21 points. Grundy to Stevenson. Just need to hit the scoreboard, the Pies. But at the moment, it looks to be a struggle. Inside 50s for the term, Tune.
Richmond's way, Howie, 5-zip.
Okay, that is a stat now. Rioli punches it forward. Gets away from Revolt. Pendlebury. Hand pass.
Great kick.
Now that is a really, really good kick by Maynard. And now Steele side bottom, centre half back. I'm just going to take a bit of air out of this one.
I just don't like that reaction to just want to play slow, Howie. They were on there. They had to play on the fat side of the ground. They could have gone quick. I think it's too early to try and save this game.
It's only 1 goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Triple M Super special comments. Chris Judd, Nath Brown urging the Magpies. Keep taking a risk. Down the line, Big Mesa. He has played a game for the ages, Howie. Outmark Alex Rance, if you don't mind.
I think it's the best game for an American in the history of the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, we'll go with that. Big Meso long down the line and contested mark number 7. That was 2 men.
Yep, and a PB for him as well.
I reckon he gave who he's up against.
He gave it to Rance. He gave it to Rance when he got up too.
Well, you picked him right from the start when he took that early mark. He had a real confident swagger about him, Nate Brown.
And I've liked it. They just need 1 more goal, the Pies. You'd think that will do it for them, but Richmond are coming hard here.
Nankervis and Grundy. Collingwood 60 from home. Nankervis puts up into a risky ball. Pendlebury, 2 hands, fisted inside 50 to Goey. He's kicked 4. Forced to Treloar on the snap. Adam Treloar! Is that the winner? Treloar round the body. The Collingwood Army are up at the City end. Collingwood 13-7-85, Richmond 8-10-58. And that's on the Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. Stock up for the footy season at IJ Liquor. Head to ijliquor.com.au to find your nearest store. That's a massive goal.
Well, it felt like they needed it, Howie. They've dominated this game, Collingwood Football Club, but we're starting to feel like they were under pressure, and Adam Treloar, fitting that he kicked that goal. Remember, it was only a few years ago he could have gone to Richmond. or he could have gone to Collingwood. He's made the choice to go to Collingwood, and that was a brilliant left foot goal under pressure. Another messy goal. It's been contested footy, often contested marking that's done it for him all night, and a contested messy goal again for the Pies.
Triple M Seabus Super special comment. Seabus Super with insurances that protect the building and construction workers. Chris Judd, Nath Brown doing a great job tonight here on Triple M footy. Hoskin Elliott to Phillips. Tumbles one down the line. Back there is Short. Kicks it out. Back to Hoskin Elliott. Back to Phillips again. Pops this one inside forward 50. Big pack came at it to Goey. Gave a good contest. And off hands. Boundary throw-in.
Amazing coach from Broad going back with the flight there. De Goey was coming out at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He continued to go back even though he knew he was coming.
Just joining us, Melbourne Storm beat the Sharks 22-6 to go through to another NRL Grand Final next Sunday versus the Roosters or the Rabbits. Now Collingwood, again they press. Hack the ball inside 50. Short looks to the boundary line and gets there. Collingwood 13-7-85. Richmond 8-10-58. 12.5 gone in the final term. The Monopoly game at Macca's is on now. Head in store and play today.
Brodie Grundy again. His follow-up ruck work has been super impressive. Really has taken the chocolates tonight against Dan Curvis. Again, he's in front fighting hard. Free kick Collingwood against Cochin. And Taylor Adams, he's been right up there with the best players on the ground. True man.
Yeah, 30 disposals, 5 clearances and 22 pressure acts, which is the most for Collingwood.
Look out, Mason Cox looms large. Couldn't quite get the mark completed there. Fisted away from him. Well, the handball has been intercepted by Phillips to the goal line. Meso's there again, big Meso. Couldn't quite keep it in. And a boundary throw in. 13-7-85, 8-10-58. It is the Magpies almost into the grand final, Browning.
Yeah, his parents were lucky to get down there in time after your question to them, Dust. It seemed to go on and on.
Well, they're staying till after the grand final, they told us.
Didn't get a lot out of Big Phil Cox, I'll be honest with you.
Brodie Grundy rolls into an open goal and kicks the sealer for Collingwood. They're going to be into the grand final next week. Massive upset at the MCG. Collingwood 14-7-91, Richmond 8-10-58. Back out to 33 points. I reckon that's it.
He's been brilliant, Brodie Grundy, tonight, and if Richmond did have an Achilles heel, it was going to be Toby Nankervis. The scores from stoppages: 1 goal to 8 to Richmond, 8 goals 6 to 54. They have absolutely dominated the Tigers of Collingwood in that area, and it's been led by Brodie Grundy. Fitting that he was able to kick the seal up from another stoppage goal.
And Juddy, there are Tiger fans streaming out of the MCG at the moment. Just having a look at the Collingwood president. Oh, he's given him a send-off too. Kevin Warehouse replay screen. And the Tiger fans are going home. What about this game? Amazing scenes. Grundy again. Talk us through his night, please, Two-Man, quickly.
52 hit-outs to us. The hit-outs to advantage is 18 to Nankervis at 4.
Amazing. Brodie Grundy's been enormous. Side bottom. Taylor Adams. All going to take some beating in a grand final. Now the Magpies. Here comes Josh Thomas. Varco. Back to Josh Thomas. Treloar's running on. Oh, big Mace. This has got Mace's name over it. Went back with a flight. Big courage. And Rand's got a free kick, Howie. A little letdown, you have to say.
The way you've pumped him up, boys. Collingwood working hard to try and clear their defensive area. Richmond come again. Punch towards Caddy, who's been really quiet tonight. Fails to pick the ball up cleanly. His hand pass goes towards Rance. Hacks the ball forward, out on the full. Collingwood are going to come again.
This is a team that's had the most games missed through injury throughout the year, Howie. It's an incredible effort what they've been able to produce undermanned at times.
Well, Judge, we went to Adelaide when they were 0-2, taking on the Crows on a Friday night, and everyone thought they lost that. You know, they were questioning Buckley's job again.
Yep.
And he's now leading them into an AFL Grand Final.
So many amazing stories around the Collingwood Football Club. As you said a while ago, Howie, they're all going to be written this week, and they're all worthy. Levi Greenwood's a good one too. He's been big tonight. Just stopped Rioli dead in his tracks. Grundy, side bottom, Treloar. What about those names? They are going to be a big factor Saturday afternoon at the MCG, the last Saturday in September, as Prestia takes the mark for the Tigers at half-back.
What they're going to have is an extra day break over 2 teams going to play in 27-degree heat tomorrow.
That's Triple MC Bar Supers. Josh Thomas, who was driving an Uber a year ago, spent a couple of years out of the game for his indiscretion. And here's another quite amazing story. Stevenson, his first year of the AFL.
What rating he had in the Uber?
I don't know. It's a good question. Do you think anyone will ask him that this week, Brownie, or not?
It's not that good a question, Harry.
Yeah, probably not, but I was just trying to humanate. Now Steele, side bottom.
Maso.
Big Mason Cox.
He's got it, Howie.
He's got another contested mark. He's playing like a combination of Michael Jordan and Wayne Carey at the moment. And he's going back from 55 saying, I'm going to line this up.
Give me my 30 seconds, and why shouldn't he?
This is swagger.
Jeez.
This is one of the more amazing things we've seen at the footy for a long time.
He might go a barrel here.
Mate, he's like a baseballer signalling a home run at the moment.
Babe Ruth style. Goes inside, big fly. And Richmond are going to punch it out. Is this going to be called? If you hear the umpire, if it goes out, I'll call deliberate, and he does. Collingwood fans, well, they're delirious here.
This is party time for the Pies.
They're going off their chops.
Maynard sends it down the line. Big Mace is there. Look out. Big pack forms around the back. Blostone. Grimes. They've been under all sorts of pressure, the Richmond defence. Grundy, Mason Cox. Cochin, left foot, little poker. Out of defensive 50 to Martin. And Dusty takes it at half back.
What are the questions the Tigers are going to have to answer post-game, Brownie?
They're going to have to answer the question about how do they lose so many 50-50 footies like this one here. Just Collingwood from minute one, if there was a 50-50 footy on the ground, they just went lower, they went harder than Richmond, and they continued to win them all night.
Collingwood have been far and away the better side, but the question will be asked about the longer break, Juddy.
Yeah, I think absolutely that'll come up, which is a bit of a shame because nothing should detract from just how brilliantly Collingwood have played.
Can't make excuses about the longer break. It didn't hurt them last year.
Grundy takes another mark. Just chip it to Maso. Someone needs to. He's getting deeper, the big man. Richmond have only got one on him at the moment. Aish is 70 from home. Just chip it in the direction of the big American. He goes tight on the boundary line. Doesn't give Cox a chance. Listen to the crowd. I don't know if the gold jacket's out yet. It won't be far away. Cox is under pressure. He's run down from behind. Stevenson. Oh, who's going to get the free kick?
The pig.
The pig Greenwood.
50.
And Levi Greenwood. He wants to give it for a moment to Maynard, who wanted to get on the board.
I'm not sure if the pig can make the journey from there, Howie. He's only just outside 50 metres, but I think that might stretch him.
We'll have a look. It'll have to be his best effort on the right trotter for the pig. He's approaching. In fact, it'll be the left trotter. He just chips it. Cox arrives late. And Richmond, there's going to be some devastation when this final siren goes. Little snap from an impossible angle. Diving ball. Then off side bottom took the mark. The umpire will toss it up. But you're going to see some shattered men in yellow and black leave this arena in about 8 minutes' time, Das.
Sure are, Howie. It is going to be a devastating analysis of what's gone wrong in this prelim final, Howie. There's going to be some players that have played their worst game for the year tonight for the Tigers. Josh Caddy's got the ball in hand. I can't remember him being this quiet the rest of the year. But let's focus on the Magpies because they are just charging through again. The pig Greenwood, not his best kick.
Das, you'd have to think that at least 15 players of the 22 have had their worst game for the year.
It's a big call, Brownie, but without thinking about it, hard to argue.
Langdon takes another mark across half-back. And Brownie, it's not the fact that they're going to get beaten, it's the fact that they have never been in the game all night.
That's how they've been beaten, and they have been beaten up tonight at their own game.
Main out towards Howe. Nez, what will be the injury stories this week for the Collingwood Footy Club?
Well, Jordan De Goey's just come off the ground, and I reckon they won't put him back out there again. He'll be wrapped up in cotton wool, no doubt about it. Jeremy Howell, they'll be looking to see how he recovers, even though he has managed to play out the game. And then, of course, Darcy Moore has been a talking point all week, but it's going to be tough to change a winning side after this performance, Howie. How about that Collingwood chant?
In fact, I'm just looking through the list. Jack Rewalt's the only player I can find that's played up to normal standard or above.
Bob Jane T-Mart's tyre and wheel specialist. The Collingwood chant, as Nez highlighted, it is just going around and around and around the MCG. Now, old mate Nick Malloy, my gee, He's not going to be happy. What are you seeing on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay, Das?
It's the Joffa gold jacket out, Howie. He's called it, Joffa.
He's put it on as Adams goes inside 50. Treloar to Pendlebury. Working out of their defensive zone now. Adams puts it out in front of a couple of runners. One of them is Hoskin Elliott. Picks it up. Side bottom. He's going to give it back to Hoskin Elliott. He's got options inside 50. Back to Steele side bottom. Little chipping ball it is. And all alone with a paddock is Jaden Stevenson, who is going to play in a grand final in his first season of AFL football.
Brilliant run by Steele side bottom. He's had a brilliant night tonight. The overlap run. Richmond were outnumbered Collingwood in Collingwood's forward 50 there, but they didn't panic. They used a handball. Be great for Jaden Stevenson to get on the scoreboard with a goal here.
Even a smile from the coach, Nathan Buckley. Good on him on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. Jaden Stevenson with an unusual approach where he looks like he's going to kick the belly of the footy. Now puts it in a drop punt mode. Collingwood are on the way to the big dance. The emotions are flowing at the MCG. 15-7-97, Richmond 8-10-58 on your Triple M IJ Liquor scoreboard. What a remarkable turnaround for this footy club in the space of a year.
It's been incredible, Howie. We mentioned Steele's side bottom. He's been brilliant all night. He's had 38 disposals, kicking at an 84% kicking efficiency. He's taken his game to new levels, Jukin. Not sure what's going to happen next week, but he may have the Gary Ayres medal all but sewn up already.
Gary Ayres medal for the best player in the final series, Judd-Man.
I would have thought he was already leading before tonight's game. You'd think he's going to get maximum votes tonight or close to.
He was leading by 5 going into this, so I don't think he can be beaten.
Just about have it sealed up.
Is he best on, or is it Big Meso?
Well, him, Meso, Brodie, Grundy, you could just about raffle it, I reckon.
You wouldn't go past my man, Big Meso.
Yeah, you're probably
I wouldn't have thought. Here he is again, the big man. He's getting it done at ground level as well. It's all the Collingwood army. They're loving every bit of it. Cochin back there. Talk us through his night, please, True Man.
Trent Cochin, 23 touches and 9 clearances.
Yeah, he's worked really hard. He always does, but hasn't been able to inspire his side tonight. Well done, Tyson Goldsack. You just marvel at what that man has been able to do to get back and get himself into a grand final. It's one of the great stories I can remember in recent times. Did his knee in the final practice game against the Bulldogs. I'm told that the surgeon was away skiing, couldn't get in to see Julian Feller. He did 12 days worth of squat work, built up his quads, and they reckon that has turbocharged his recovery with a knee injury. That'll be spoken about a lot during the week, Tyson Goldsack. Amazing commitment and courage.
Couldn't happen to a nicer fella as well. The big number 6. And that's a nice mark taken by Crisp, who's been good. Chewie's got a couple of goals at Crisper.
Yeah, along with 29 disposals. Just with Mason Cox as well, how he's taken 8 contested marks. It's an equal club record for the Magpies. He sits alongside Travis Cloak.
What, in the history of the football club?
Yeah, correct. So the Duck might be a little bit nervous. He's got the record with 10.
Wow. The Duck does claim in days where they weren't rolling stats. He took 18 one day, but that's the Duck for you.
Meso.
He's got it again. Juddy, what are your thoughts on supporters leaving early? If you're a Tigers fan, do you condone that, or do you...
Got to beat the traffic, Judge.
Well, there's Nate Brown. Leave us super special comment, Big Mace down the line.
Why would you hang around and watch this as a Tigers fan?
When you can no longer win, you got to cut and run.
You've won 22 games in a row here. You stick it out to the very end now. Surely.
The chicken manure's got to go on the front doorstep, I would have thought. Or the chicken hearts, or whatever it was. I don't know how Mick Malloy's going, but he'd be flat.
Oh, stay away from him tonight.
Yep.
He'll be dangerous tonight, Howie.
You'd be giving it to Chowie.
He's great, mate. Scotty Pendlebury to Mason Cox, who Chew-Man told us has equalled Travis Cloak's record as the most contested marks ever in the history of the club, Chew.
That's right, with 8.
Since they've been taken, we must add. And again, Richmond push through Castagna, gets into trouble.
Gee, they've tackled well.
And that is Aish, who takes a great free kick for that tackle. There's only 3:14 on the clock. Storm beat the Sharks 22-6, so they're in a grand final, as will Collingwood be.
Collingwood won the premiership in 2010, and Goldsack, Pendlebury, side bottom. We think of the 3 that are out there tonight that were premiership players in 2010. They get a chance to add another premiership to their CVs. Brodie Mihocek, what about Brodie running around playing for Port Melbourne. He's now going to be on the biggest stage of all. Jaden Short, who's found the going pretty tough tonight, cuts back inboard. It's over the head of Pendlebury out the back. Prestia, the little man, ducked back, won it. Sends a long ball to the goal square, and the mark taken by Langdon back there. Got back and read it really well.
How many marks has he taken, Stu? Tommy Langdon?
He's taken 12 on the back of 10 last week, and last week he also took 5 intercept marks.
He's had some game. So Grundy. I reckon the Pies boys will enjoy sitting down watching West Coast of Melbourne go bang, bang in a prelim tomorrow in 25, 26 plus degrees with an extra day's break. Now Pendlebury looping hand pass. Can they get it on to Hoskin Elliott? They can. His hand pass is chopped off back to Bashahuli, who goes short. And it goes to Nankervis. And it just shows Richmond losing this how hard premierships are to win, Juddy.
A lot of things have to go right. There's a lot of moving parts. But if there's ever a time to take a few short steps and avoid a bit of body contact, if you're a Collingwood player, now is the time to do so.
Yeah, minute 42 remaining, Juddy. So you're just self-preservation now, isn't it? They've got the footy with Pendlebury on the wing. You just would hope that nothing untoward happens out there now. Mihocek.
And big mate starting to get another one here, I reckon.
He's in the frame. Nate Brown, the Monopoly game at Macca's is on now. Head into store and play today. Triple M rocking the prelim final, the grand final, thanks to our great friends at Macca's. And that one's over for a boundary throw. Minute 16 until siren time.
I'd like to see Mason take another contested mark, or at least stand on the mark down the other end, Duke. One of the two.
Well, you've got to add that when you're evaluating his performance, Chubb. I hope that's not overlooked, his mark standing capacity.
Adam Treloar embracing some of the support staff down on the boundary line. Finally sinking in for the Collingwood players that they're going to be in a grand final in 8 days' time. There will be devastation on this siren for the yellow and black as Short gets it from half-back. They've been the best team all year, but not the best team on preliminary final night with a minute to go. It's a poor kick. Short kicks it straight to side bottom. He's going to rack up another one, Chewy.
Yeah, this is number 40, so it's an equal most by a player in a in fact, it's the most now, 41 touches, most ever in a prelim final in the history of the game.
Still side bottom?
Yeah, just surpassed Gary Ablett.
10 years ago to the week, True Man. That man still side bottom, kicked 10 goals in the TAT Cup grand final. I reckon he had 40 possessions to go with that 10-goal performance as well. He has become an incredible player, still side bottom. McIntosh has intercepted the ball. Lambert got smashed in a Maynard tackle. He's had a good couple of weeks, Brodie Mihocek. Cleaned up Toby Green last week, Juddy.
He was brilliant last week. He wins his one-on-one contest. He's incredibly strong through the hips, and his ball use is excellent now as well.
Cox in the ruck. Battles hard. Tight on the boundary line on the outer side, and that's where the ball goes. Massive crowd in here. The Collingwood call is going to be going up. There's a big margin now.
You saw Adam Treloar almost in tears on the boundary line. His season was done and dusted. 2 hamstring surgery. He's going through to a grand final. Hear the Collingwood chant at the Triple MCG. You're going through to a grand final. And there it is. The Magpies in one of the great prelim final upsets defeat the Tigers 97-58. 94,959 in the house.
Extraordinary night at the MCG, 94,959 people, Collingwood 23 at quarter time, 44 at the half, 33 at the three-quarter time break. In the end, Collingwood 15-7-97, far too good for Richmond, 8-10-58. The Pies by 39 points, and they make their way through to a grand final against either West Coast or Melbourne. The goal kickers, Jordan De Goey with 4, Mason Cox, unbelievable night, 3 in a row to kick off the second term. Jack Rewalt was outstanding with 5 for the Richmond Football Club. There'll be some really shattered men in yellow and black tonight as they traipse down the rooms. But it's a wonderful story, Collingwood. They are through to the most unlikely of grand finals. 94,959 people at the MCG. Nathan Buckley makes his way out onto the ground and signs welcome to the Bucks party. I quite like that one. Just an extraordinary night, an amazing night really at the MCG. A result few predicted. But Collingwood have got the job done. And here is Mason Cox, the hero, with Daisy Pearce, courtesy of 7.
For the biggest crowd, the biggest stage.
Usually my family's in town, so maybe I go thank them. I'm not really sure, but I think I just got a bit of a different mindset than most of the boys. I don't stress out too much about it, just kind of focus on the little things. So it's not really credit to me. I mean, Jordy kicked 4 today. The backs held out. To hold Richmond to 58 points, that's pretty good. So I think it was just a great team effort to come up here.
Was the plan always to lay it up to you like the boys did all night, or was that just identifying that you were on and just playing that way?
Yeah, I think after the first one, they just kind of started looking for you. You get a few marks and you start looking as a target. They start kind of looking for you every time they get the ball outside 50. So it's a good day, and hopefully we can go on for next week and do well again.
You mentioned your mum and dad up there. They've been on Media Street today. How well do they know the game, or they just enjoyed the atmosphere and the chant of USA going around the stadium?
Yeah, they're probably still trying to get their head wrapped around it. My mum and dad watch every day, every game. They stay until 4 a.m. and they've been supporting me and my athletic career throughout my whole life. So not only that, my brothers too. So I've just got a really supportive family. I'm just really grateful for it.
Well, thanks, Mace. Well done. Very impressive. Over to you, Richo.
Thanks, Daisy. Still, just before we get on to the rest of the game, what a phenomenal display of marking. Makes it pretty good when you've got someone like that in your forward line.
Yeah, it does. And I think previous weeks he's had his hands to him, but tonight they just stuck. And geez, it was impressive to sit back and watch. But to see him hit the scoreboard, he takes a lot of pride in his performance. And I think he's been down a little bit over the last few weeks, but to see him come out and perform on such a big stage, that's why we got him from the US.
You see everything behind the scenes. To come and do what he has done tonight, he must do a lot of work. He's leading patterns. That takes a lot of learning when you don't come from the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think 3 years or whatever he's known the game. So it's a credit to himself, but people around him and the coaches and all that to, I suppose, teach him the game. And I'm really proud of him. Yeah.
Steele, at what stage this year did you start to get a belief that there was something building at this club? Because the outside looking in, there's real momentum, and you can see it building week by week. When did you start thinking it could?
I can't really put a finger on it, but I believe over the last sort of few years has put us in this position. We've had some times that have been tough, but it's made blokes stronger, and you want to win games of footy all the time, but the journey that we're on, not only just for this year but for more years to come, blokes put in a lot of effort, and it's good to see some reward.
Before we go to Daisy with your coach, he changed a few things around as well when he came back pre-season?
Yeah, a little bit. Probably got a little bit more time inside the middle, but I don't know, maybe I'm at the right age to start playing some better footy.
Well done, Steele. Over to you, Daisy.
I won't keep you long, Bucks, because I know it's a special moment, but what was it tonight when you reflect back on the plan? What did they absolutely nail that meant that you could break the Tigers?
Oh, look, we just played really solid footy. I mean, early it was more than solid, it was dynamic. And we were able to score, and when there was that gap in the scoreboard, I think we got careful, which is fair enough. And Richmond really got going sort of early in that last quarter, but I thought we showed maturity to be able to handle that gap and then to come again late in the last quarter.
And so many special stories, but none more so than Mason Cox. You guys have stuck by him throughout his whole career, but particularly over the last couple of weeks when the criticisms come. How impressive was he tonight?
Oh, he's huge. Probably one of his better games in his career. So definitely his most consistent full-quarter effort. So we've got a lot of belief in all of our players, and I think that's pretty clear. And when you get to this stage, you want to see them show their strengths, and Mason definitely did that tonight.
So what's next? How do you manage this moment but get them ready for the next one?
Well, we've enjoyed every moment of the season, and we'll enjoy this. And we've got a bit of work to do. We've got a bit of time, and we'll have a look at tomorrow night. And our intent was, after we lost against West Coast, so we've got 3 games to win. So we've got 2 of those. We've got another game to win.
Well done, Bucks. Good luck next week.
Cheers.
Well done to the 7 Network. Daisy Pearce and Nathan Buckley saying it's one of Mason Cox's better games he's played at the club. So it'd be fair to say it's his best game he's played at the club.
I think so. Might have undersold that, Bucks, but congratulations to Nathan Buckley. I think just a remarkable story how I think that will be told. Let's go back down to ground level. Richo's got Tyson Goldsack.
After winning the prelim and heading to a grand final, it's surreal. It hasn't sunk in. It won't sink in for a couple of days, but what it feels like now is pretty good, so I'll take that.
Imagine, mate. You said it was a dream. When did it actually become realistic this year that you could get out here and play? Phenomenal job you've done the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, thanks. Probably midway through the year. I think we played Queen's birthday. I was just heading off to Europe for a 3-week holiday, and just before I left, we said, we'll have a fair crack at it. So I'd had my sights pretty set on it for a while, set pretty firmly, and a couple of hiccups, but we're here now and we're changing for the world, so it's can't wait. Let's just get this week started and get the next week.
Just quickly, mate, the rest of the back line tonight, you guys set it up early. You were able to clear the space and let Sidebottom and Phillips go to work on transition. You got something special brewing down there.
Yeah, we do, and they've been doing it all year, and I've said it for the last couple of weeks. I'm just riding on their coattails of the hard work they've done this year. They've been phenomenal. And I've sat in the stands and watched the way they've gone about it, and week in, week out, and the fact that I can come out and play a small part, I'm so grateful, and I just want to get around them and enjoy this.
Oh, mate, well done, great effort, and you're in a grand final. Thanks, Tyson. Cheers.
He's just full of joy. Not many blokes spend 3 or 4 weeks in the middle of the season in Europe, then slide in and play on grand final day.
Lots of great stories. That's going to be one of the great ones. How he just can't believe he kicked the first goal in the replay grand final back in 2010. You remember, look, great scenes there. Nathan Buckley, that's his young boy Jet, and a huge amount of emotion. Big hug as soon as he walked in the rooms. You love the family stories, don't you, behind the scenes? And Bucks straight to his kids. Jet and Ace, they'll be pretty happy boys tonight.
Nez, bring it in down there. Describe what you're seeing.
Eddie Maguire led the way, a huge smile on his face, went straight up to Mason Cox's parents. They had a big embrace, but I tell you what, there's the other side of it as well, which is Lyndon Dunn in absolute tears down here, happy for his teammates, shattered for himself, along with Ben Reid, Matt Scharenberg. There's some unlucky stories, there always are, but tonight is about the great story that is Collingwood, going from 13th last year to a grand final in 2018. They've got their phones up in here in the rooms, and you can hear the applause as Chris Mayne leads the way in. A big hug for Maynard. Jeremy Howe with ice packs all over both legs. There's been tears from a lot of these boys. You can see the red eyes, but mostly there are smiles. All of them coming in and hugging their special ones. Adam Treloar, who we'll be speaking to shortly, he famously chose Collingwood over Richmond. He has been crying on the bench. Jordan De Goey picks up one of Nathan Buckley's sons. They are ecstatic down here. Travis Varco, an incredibly emotional time for him. And big Mason Cox comes in, and there's a little USA as well. Scott Pendlebury, the last one to walk through and join in the circle. There's barely room for all of us down here, boys. They're excited. But let's have a listen to this song, because it's going to be sung with plenty of passion. Unbelievable scenes here, guys. Nathan Buckley took a step back, but he sung that song with so much emotion. He's just grabbing the boys. He's going to bring them in to just have a quick chat. He wants to gather them and have a private moment. I might try and track down Jay Cox, the mother of Mason Cox, to have a chat with her shortly.
Well done, Nez. Great work down there. Something's caught your eye on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay, Juddy?
No, just saw Jeremy Howe there with a bit of ice on his hammy and his ankles as well. So we hope he's okay.
There's what's happening down there.
He's doubled down.
I've got Jay Cox, the proud mother of Mason Cox, who spoke to us pre-game, so I think we can take all of the credit in the Triple M box.
There you go.
How proud are you right now? Because your American son has just been close to best on ground in a preliminary final.
I just can't believe it. I'm just like, the whole team just played so good together. And they knew that they could do it, and they just had confidence. And I could tell in the third quarter when he was just skipping around a little bit, and I thought, okay, he's cool. He feels, relaxed. And I think he just felt confident that they were going to win.
You've got tears in your eyes. You're shaking. You're so excited. He had the strut going from the get-go. Have you seen him look that confident?
Yeah, he gets that way sometimes. Sometimes it's not a good thing, but in this case it is. So hopefully they'll keep going and do that in the final.
How big a picture, paint a picture for us, how big a deal is this going to be back home?
We're going to make it a big deal. Believe me. Well, I've already had some friends texting me and stuff like that, so from the States that have watched this game. So all of our friends were watching it back home, and our sons were watching it back home, and so I expect the other two kids to be coming out for the finals.
And how do the family celebrate tonight?
I don't know. We haven't really thought about that yet. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to sleep.
Jay, thank you so much for spending some time with us again. Congratulations. It's such a proud moment for you and your family.
Exciting. Thanks.
Thanks, Nez and Jay down there. Chewy is an American. We had Mike Pike, the big Canadian, playing a grand final. We had an American in an AFL grand final.
An American. I reckon he could be on the money, Howard. It might be the first time, I'd say.
Might.
Confident of that.
Chemist Warehouse replay screen. Damien Hardwick has got the whole of the staff, all the players, and he's having a very, very long discussion. It's looks pretty heartfelt. How he's certainly no raising of voice. It's just you can imagine the disappointment over in the Tigers' rooms tonight.
No doubt about it. The Monopoly game at Macca's is on now. Head in store and play today. Next, Nez from the winners' rooms. She'll make her way around to Richmond as well, but in front of 94,959 people. Can you believe it? Collingwood 15-7-97 beat Richmond 8-10-58 by 39 points. And add to that, Mason Cox was a star with 3 goals. Plenty more to come from the G from McDonald's. Triple M rocks finals footy. Collingwood beat Richmond in a prelim, by 39 points. Mason Cox kicked 3 in an amazing 15 minutes in the second term. And also very good on the goal front, Jordan to go with 4. Jack Revolt was valiant with 5. Higgins with 2 for the Tigers in front of 94,959 people. Collingwood rooms, Nez, there's nothing like a Collingwood rooms when they win, but when it's a prelim, oh wow.
It's pretty special down here, Howie, and I'm with one of their stars, Adam Treloar. You've just been in hugging your family and your friends. You've got red eyes. You've been bawling your eyes out. Talk us through the emotion.
No, it's obviously we've come pretty far in the last 12 months, and we had so much belief coming day one into pre-season this year that if we played our brand of footy for longer, we could match it with anyone. And it's nice and rewarding to know that the amount of effort and hard work you put in, especially over summer, to just work on what we know we can do well. It's exactly what we've done, and to deliver it on a big stage, like tonight against the best team who's been the best team in the last 2 years. It's just really emotional, and obviously I obviously did my hammy this year, but other than that I had a few things going on, and there was a chance I wasn't going to play footy again this year away from my hamstrings, just personal stuff going on, and it's quite emotional because when footy gets taken away from you, because it did with my hamstrings, I didn't think I was going to get back, especially not into this position, and to be here, it's made me just appreciate football so freaking much, and my teammates. I just love them all, and win or lose next week, the amount of pride that I have in this footy club and this group, it's just not, I can't really put it into words.
You've always been super honest, and that's why we love you, Ads. And about halfway through this year, I asked you if you'd been dreaming of standing up and raising that Premiership Cup, and you said absolutely every night. You're in a grand final.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, Nez. With about 8 minutes to go, when we were up by 40 or whatever it was, we sort of knew we were going to make it. And I said to Josh Thomas out there, mate, we're playing in a grand final. Like, what the heck? Like, as much as we believed it, like I said, hand on heart, we believed that if we played our brand from the start of the pre-season, we played our brand of footy for longer than what the opposition does, it stacks up against the best teams. And there's always a little, not self-doubt, there's always, you can't control what other teams do. So, to get to this position and then perform on such a big stage, again, like I said, against the best opposition, who clearly are the best team, have been all year, it's just the pride I have for the group and the boys and everyone is just enormous.
And Buckley unusually took you guys into the room to have a word with you straight after the song. What did he want to say?
Oh, he said to obviously soak this up the next 24, 48 hours. Appreciate where we are and how we got here, and sort of look back and look at all the hard work we've put in. But at the end of the day, we haven't won anything. We haven't, we've got an opportunity to win it, but we haven't won anything. So, like he said, soak it up the next 24, 48 hours. Come back on Monday. Obviously, find out who we play tomorrow. review this game, see what we can improve on, and then back on the horse again next week. If we can play our brand of footy longer than what either West Coast or Melbourne do, then give us a long chance to win the game. So for now, I'm just going to enjoy this.
And Adam, no one comes and announces to you that you're a great team. Were you able to pinpoint a time during the season when you really believed that this team could be a great team?
Yeah, I think we didn't start the season over well. We lost the first 2 games to Hawthorn and Giants, and I think the Carlton game round 3, that was a hard-fought game. We won that game, but no one really was giving us any credit, I suppose. And then I think it was round 4. We faced Adelaide over in Adelaide. It was a Friday night game, so everyone was watching. Adelaide still were one of the premiership favourites, and the way we won over there, but the way we won, we played our brand of footy for all the 4 quarters, and we won convincingly. And I think from there, the belief in the group just went through the roof. And it wasn't like we didn't believe. We always believed, but I think when it stacked up against good opposition, that's when we really believed. Even the Richmond games, like I said, we have to compare ourselves against the standard, and that's the Richmond Tigers. And twice this year at 3/4 time, we were playing really, really good football, but obviously we couldn't get the job done. So, we believe going into this game, if we could do that for longer, there'd be an opportunity that we win the game. So that's exactly what happened.
Adam, sides got themselves in trouble against the Tigers by over handballing. I thought it was clear from minute 1 that you guys wanted to take possession and kick the footy without giving the ball back to them.
Well, yeah, they're a great pressure team, so why would you try and handball it if they're just going to turn it over and score the other end? So, when we've got Coxie down the line who either grabs it or brings the ball to ground, that's a nice outlet to kick to. We've got Brodie Mihocek who just created a contest and plays his role first class, and then there's obviously Geordie, who's super one-on-one. So, why would you over-handball? There's a couple of times we did over-handball, especially late in the game, but that's you're right, that was exactly what we wanted to do going into it.
Ad, congratulations to you and your football club. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the full thing, mate, the parade, etc. And we'll see you in 8 days' time on grand final day.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
Adam Treloar. Very honest. Very honest.
He's open, isn't he? I like that.
Just having a look at Big Brian on the Triple M Chemist Warehouse replay. He went up to young Will Hoskin-Elliott, who had his little baby there, who looked happy, and then Brian arrived with the mic and just scared the whiskers off the poor kid, who just burst into tears. Wow, poor youngster. All right, Chewy, the Triple M Bosch Tool Stats.
Well, Richmond, they've lost their first game at the MCG, Howie, since the 17th of June last year. So they'd won 22 in a row coming to this game. That's now been broken. They're also their equal lowest score of the year as well with 8-10-58. But a couple of quick team stats here. The contested marks, 18-9. So Mason Cox took 8 contested marks, which is the equal most by Collingwood players, sitting alongside Travis Cloak. Collingwood also had 54 more disposals, 11 more tackles. The scores from clearances, Collingwood 9 goals, 660 to Richmond, 1 goal, 2-8. They got absolutely hammered the Tigers, and letting ball win a side bottom 41 touches at 81% by foot. So it's the most number of disposals in a prelim. Adams with 36, Crisp with 30 in a couple of majors. Grundy, 21 disposals, 56 hit-outs. His PB was 57, but he had 19 to advantage to Nankervis at 5. And for the Tigers, 25 to Cochin, Rewald 14 disposals and 5 goals. But these numbers here, Howie, in closing, Martin 19, Edwards 14, Caddy 11 and scoreless on the back of 46 majors this year. Graham 8 and Castagna 6 and scoreless.
Outstanding as always by you, Chewy. Today's Macca's moment didn't happen at one particular moment. It was just around one man. It just continued. His name was Mason Cox. Here's how we called the Macca's moments on Triple M Footy.
Rance socketed only as far as Treloar. Big chance, Mason Cox coming up, and he's clunked it. Big Meso! Wow! And you'll be getting pretty twitchy if you're a Tiger supporter, and he delivers it through. Unbelievable scenes.
This is getting really dangerous for the Tigers. Cox is deep again. He comes out. This time he's taken a hanger, Mason Cox. And he just looks at everyone as if to say, what did you expect from me, Brownie?
I told you this before the game, Howie. I said it's set up for this big man tonight.
Mason Cox, not much angle, stabs at it. And it is a goal! Because Pendlebury does chip it to Mason Cox! It's like a replay does! He's got it again, the big unit! Mason Cox lines up, keeps it low. Mason Cox is writing his name in the Collingwood history at the moment.
Sends this one down, big Mason Cox. Look at the big man! Unplayable. You cannot get near him tonight.
Now Steele, side bottom.
Mason.
Big Mason Cole.
He's got it, Howie.
He's got another contested mark. He's playing like a combination of Michael Jordan and Wayne Carey at the moment.
Down the line, Big Mason. He has played a game for the ages, Howie. Outmark Alex Rance, if you don't mind.
I think it's the best game for an American in the history of the game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We might have got a touch code away at stages in that call. I'm not sure we should be comparing him to Michael Jordan, but he had a pretty big impact, Judge.
It was outstanding, wasn't it? And to see his improvement, not just in the home and away season, but what he's done this final series has been a joy to watch.
That is it for Friday nights. We've appreciated you listening all through the year. The great man in the back row, Luke Tunnicliffe, who is the #1 producer in radio, has steered the ship magnificently this year. He's done a great job. So well done to you, Tunners, and thank you very much for getting us to this point, Judge.
No brown-nosed Tunners now. After slagging him off when everyone was listening.
He's been absolutely fantastic. Hey, that's it for the MCG, Chewy. Nicely done by you.
Thanks, Howard.
Well done, Jace. Well done, the brown dog. And the Judge. That is it. I tell you what, massive upset preliminary final style. Collingwood 15-7-97, Richmond 8-10-58. Collingwood win it by 39 points. It'll always be remembered as the night Mason Cox tore the MCG apart. The boys with the Saturday rub back from midday. An extraordinary game of footy here. The Pies are into a grand final for McDonald's. Triple M rocks. Finals footy.